And we're live.
What's
There we
up,
go.
What's up, y'all?
motherfuckers?
What's up,
Hey,
man?
language!
Dane just had to say that. Sorry, guys. But anyways, this is Dane, obviously, the goofy one. With
Yeah,
No,
right here.
the
no,
Bruce
I'm
Duke
sad.
photo.
Oh,
We got Kevin down
Mhm.
there.
I'm right here, folks.
And we got Thomas, the apparently engine for some reason
The
that I
What's up,
don't
y'all?
know why.
Luigi Puppy
What's
here.
up? Luigi Puppin in the house.
What's up, everybody? Luigi Puppy
And
here.
no, guys, I've never started a live with people on it before. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
Well, you've done it
But-
before. I think you have.
Well, no, I haven't done it with you guys actually being there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, understandable.
I only
Kevin.
knew that you could do it because on Katie's StreamYard, I noticed that
Yeah.
you can actually start with the people in the
Mhm.
stage.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, guess what?
What?
I got that
Yeah.
paper.
Hey, Percy. Percy.
Did you have to do that?
Sorry, I had to.
And yes, this stream, as you can tell, is going to be no drama included. And I mean it.
Yes. Yes.
Because if there's any drama, you're out of here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Just a bunch of goofy people.
Yeah, just a bunch of goofy people. Or should I say goofy
Wait, I need to send this to my friend Erica.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
Live it out, make it straight, don't go back.
Hesitate.
When you go big time.
Thomas, I love your name. It's very
Thank you.
magical.
Magical.
It's
Yes,
very
nice.
magical.
Yep.
Magical.
Oh, hi, Lucas.
Hey,
So,
Lucas.
I know it's been a
What's up,
while since
Lucas?
I've done this, but I decided to do it because my friend Thomas did it, was it 9 days ago?
Yes.
Yep.
And mine was 2
Just
weeks.
stop.
Yeah, she one skink butthole
And
guy.
this one thinks he can talk like Bingus.
No. Hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm Jeffy. No, actually no, he just said he was, hey gang, what you doing?
Yeah, a little bit of information.
Yes, just stop.
You're not-
I'll leave you alone.
Jeffy.
Yeah, you're right. I'm being
Yes, just
Bingus
stop.
my
I'll
butt.
leave you alone.
I've been being this the whole time.
So, Thomas, how are you doing tonight?
This is
How
my
you
spam account. I'm
Spam
actually
account.
being this.
I'm asking Tom's question. You be quiet.
Okay.
Not you,
motherfucker.
Kevin.
I'll leave
Oh,
you.
I said I was tired.
He's tired, but he has his photo set on a drunken Thomas.
Yeah.
What happened to you, Thomas? What happened to you? Did he take more of the
I don't
Westfield Coligan? Or
I don't know.
or did he just do this for fun?
Me? For
Oh,
fun.
sorry guys. I didn't mean to do that. I hit my phone off the iPad. And
It's alright.
about that, Dane, what were you yelling about on the group chat for?
Oh
Seriously.
yeah, I was kind of pissed. Someone called you the F word, so I hacked them.
You do realize that
Okay.
wasn't him saying it.
Yeah, I still hacked your account though,
Do-
but I removed it from my stuff after.
You should say
Okay,
that on YouTube.
sorry.
You want people to find out that you're a hacker?
Okay,
Well-
sorry.
If they do, they will mess with me because I can hack them. So hee.
You shouldn't be saying that. But
There we
okay.
go.
Okay.
I'm totally not a hacker in every way possible.
Unless he's helping people,
No.
Okay,
Oh
sorry.
no.
which is facts, people. And when I said no drama, I meant no, yelling and screaming at each other.
Yep.
Like, remember those other streams where we would all like get mad at each other because of you know who? And
Yep.
that really ticked Dane off too.
Wait,
Yeah.
But it upset me to the fact that Dane decided to play along with him.
yeah.
Yep.
You're a goofball, you know that?
No, I'm not a goofball. I'm a goofy goober.
Whatever. Goofy, goober, goofball, whatever. Same thing, yeah? Okay.
Oh shit! I'm on the wrong account.
Oh, poor you.
Wah.
For you.
Darn it! I didn't even put it in the... I was actually gonna put it in the comments for reasons. Because I'm trying to do something and,
Yeah.
I'm on the other phone and sometimes I need it. But, sometimes I need the link so I can, like, get myself into my StreamYard on the other phone. And
Okay.
it's hard to do that when you can't see the thing, so I'm gonna...
Who just left it?
And I'm also gonna put it in the description just in case anybody joins that wants to, you know, hop on.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a link, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
Who's on my private chat? Oh, it's Thomas. Thomas will
Okay.
be here till 11:30.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
he'll be
getting
here till
tired.
11:30. Alrighty, so this was actually a great start. Except that Dane is, or somebody is typing on their laptop, computer, whatever.
My computer dingy. I'm just kidding.
Whatever. I tried. Thomas, I have a question for you about your redub. How are
Yeah.
you managing to do a bunch of characters at once? How are you even gonna manage?
I'm trying to get everybody. I'm trying to get everybody else in my redub. I don't know what's going on. I gotta try to get Shane to do
Thomas
it. and I
made
don't
me
know
do a character that he made me do my own character because he thought I would do good. I probably would actually. Now
Oh my.
that I think
Oh,
about it.
No, no.
Slow.
Okay, he was having issues, but
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he'll be back.
Oh, there you. Yeah.
Are we
Oh,
ready
darn.
to actually be
Slow.
silly and actually have some fun until Thomas goes to sleep?
Yeah.
I
we're
sent
ready.
her the link to my live stream. To the live stream.
Your live stream. I was gonna say this ain't yours.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Thomas! You did that on Katie's live stream too. I know you did not just do that.
Oh, darn.
Ah, I have
Oh,
an
darn.
idea, but
I have an idea, but
it's gonna be something magical. No, I'm just kidding, guys. It's not gonna be magical, but if it was magical,
hey
now
Percy,
that
how many people? Hey Percy, how many people are watching?
I don't get that many viewers.
How many are watching?
I don't know who the one person is, but if I knew, I would tell you.
It is me. Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding. Actually, it's me though. I want to exit this channel real quick.
You want another channel? Oh, you sneaky.
You son of a gun.
He's a sneaker.
I wanted my friend to join, but she's not joining.
Remember when I said my Instagram was being a slow coach? Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, guys,
My computer's
it
being a
was.
slow bit. I'm
I'm
just kidding.
joking. It was.
My
Ha!
computer is being a slow bit. I'm just kidding.
Thomas
What?
thought I was gonna say it wasn't. I was planning on saying wasn't, but it would have been a lie.
Oh.
Cash out the Rex. I'm a pro.
It was being a slow coach, and if anyone doesn't know where the phrase slow coach comes from, well then you've been living in a weird world. I'm just kidding.
Then they can go suck a lemon.
No. They can actually be told what it is if they don't know. Like I'm not that type of person that would just be like that. Like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
I wouldn't treat others like that. Just because they don't know something, I wouldn't treat them like that.
Yeah. I guess it's wrong. I guess I don't know.
Oh snap! It's almost Christmas, guys.
7 days.
Should I was thinking of doing something on Christmas.
How many people are watching now?
Since you left on your one account, there's nobody.
T. That means you're a
What?
lonely little bastard.
You're
No,
a
I'm just kidding.
lonely. Don't cuss. I'm kidding.
Okay,
Actually,
fine.
some of my friends do cuss on the
Fuck shit,
StreamYards,
bitch, ash slit, bust.
and I never got banned for it. So
Let's see.
Yeah.
yeah.
I love flying caca dildos. They feel really great.
Gary.
If you don't like it, you can
I'm
suck
sure
a
they
lemon.
do.
And if you do not like it, you can suck a lemon and jump in a lake.
I'm sure they do. Anyways, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened to that YouTube channel that I was watching videos on before. Like, it was Thomas and Friends related. I think that person got his YouTube channel taken down or something, because I can't find it anymore. And that's where I was watching the Thomas and Friends episodes.
What?
That's the channel I was watching the full season on, remember?
Yeah.
That was the channel. I know it was. And now it's like gone. Like, I swear I saw it yesterday. Like, it was there yesterday, and now it's gone. Oh my god, it's my
The heck?
bestie.
Who?
Who?
It's my bestie.
Oh, so.
Nice.
Hey, bestie.
Oh,
It's been a while.
What's up?
I miss talking to this woman. Well, actually, it is a woman in real life, obviously.
I miss talking to this woman.
Well, she's my bestie in real life. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I talked to her. But
Oh
if
my
we're going by
gosh.
YouTube channel, we're going by roleplay, which she's roleplaying as Tayo. But you know, if you know the
Oh.
show, you'll get it. But
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. Thank you. Though I miss talking to you, though.
I seen your video when y'all role played with Teo.
Oh, with her? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Those
seen
videos
it.
are kind of funny, huh?
Yeah.
We had to do it over call because there was no other way we could do it because we weren't like right there by each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's been such a long time since I talked to her. Like, I don't know where. Like, I know she's busy and all, but
Yeah.
it's just been a while, and I didn't know she was watching until I saw the comment.
Yeah.
When you look at the comment and you see the profile, you think to yourself, "Oh my God, I know this person," and then
Yeah.
like it just randomly pops up, and you just notice it, and then you're like, "Wait, hold on a minute," because I
Yeah.
thought it was somebody else coming back, but I was wrong. I looked in the comments and I find that message, and then I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's my bestie."
Yeah.
Oh, and I think this is another reason why she doesn't talk much.
Ooh, nice. Hey, it's me, Luigi Puppet.
Oh yeah, it's Luigi Puppet. Don't worry.
It's
That's Luigi
me.
Puppet, and the other one that you're seeing, his name is actually Dane. He just role plays as Henry. So
I'm
yeah.
on the bottom too. Yep.
There's 2 people watching now. What the heck? Who came back? Did someone come back, or am I just seeing things?
Maybe my friend's watching, actually.
How do I know that? Because I wouldn't be able to tell unless I type in the comments. I can't.
Wait, if she's watching, no bad words. No, I'm just kidding. Say whatever you want. I'm just kidding.
I can't tell from the viewers like I can on Instagram. I can't just click on it and see who's watching. It's not like Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if only. It's another thing I miss doing is talking to her on call, but we had our own issues. But pretty sure that'll be
Oh
solved within time.
Yeah.
Thomas knows it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she knew who you were. Your voice gives it away.
Yeah. It's
Goofball.
kind of a long story. I might not talk about it.
And by
so-
the way, to my bestie in the comments, if you're wondering, I do still like Knight Rider. Don't worry, I'm still a fan of it. It's just, I kept getting hacked on all my accounts for Knight Rider, and my account would be deleted and, like, removed. It was weird. Like, why are you trying to take away my account? Why are you suspending
What
me
the
for?
heck?
Like, it's a fan account. It's Knight Rider.
Yeah. Like, come
And
on.
once I changed it to this, I haven't had issues with that. Except for the fact somebody tried to hack me once, but they didn't get away with it for very long.
Ha! Take that, hackers.
Because me, caught it at a right time, and I changed my password. So, they can't get my account now. No, I only say he because I got it from my friend, but that's that. Alright, who left? Now it's only one viewer. Who's in the comments right now?
Sorry.
By the way,
I'm on
people.
drugs.
By the way, people, links in the description. Oh, by the way, guys, did you know my friend over here? He's not supposed to talk to people he doesn't know in real life, but this one is a sneaky little guy.
Yeah. Ooh.
He talks to us when he's not supposed to.
Guys!
Because he's cheeky, like Thomas.
Oh my gosh.
What? It's true. Ask him. It's true. He's sneaky. He's a goofy. Kevin
Yeah.
Well,
is back.
Robert forgives me.
I
That's
hope it's
good.
not. I hope it's not just a.
I had to join the call with him, and I had to say it to his face. I'm sorry. I will never threaten you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he accepted. He's gonna give me one more chance. One more chance.
Good.
Oh.
Guess
Thank-
what? Kevin,
No.
guess what?
What?
That girl I've been talking to, right?
Yeah?
She put me in her server.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Sent some big ass gifs. Literally.
Why are we talking about this on my StreamYard? Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
lord.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Goodness. Thomas, no.
Yes.
No, we're not doing today.
We're doing it.
Sapedia. Babalichela.
Nossa Penha.
My finger. Okay.
My finger.
You're crazy. You know,
Ooh.
my bestie left us. Aw.
Oh.
I'm sure she'll be back. Probably busy. She's in the same
Yeah.
time zone as you, Dane. FYI.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Well
How
then,
dare you, bro?
pardon you, mister.
How
Jeez.
dare you, bro?
You had too much today?
I had, uh-huh.
I can see.
Ooh.
Thomas, I have an idea for the profile thing.
What? Are
Wait,
you
you
guys
got
too?
this.
I'm not gonna be in here for long because it's getting late, but I stay up to like freaking like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Thomas, you're gonna love what I'm about to do.
What?
You're gonna love this. If it'll let me do it. Because it's being stupid. And it. Oh, wait a second. He's gonna love it. I know it. Or is he?
So I guess.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Watch this. Hold on.
James.
Just watch this.
What?
I'm changing my name. Thomas is gonna love it. Here's to a good Christmas. Okay, I tried, alright?
How dare
His
you?
reaction to my name. His reaction just yeah. His reaction is just awesome. Ain't that just a splendid name?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I know how to get Thomas laughing.
You know how to get everybody laughing.
How do you
He
get me
doesn't-
laughing then?
Nah.
Huh?
How does Percy
He-
get me laughing then?
Oh, be quiet, you.
Try.
Shut the
No.
Try,
Whoa.
trucker.
No.
fudge up.
You're a mother trucker.
He's forcing
Shut
me.
the fudge up.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Thomas, language.
Thomas, really?
Thomas.
Fudge. I said fudge.
But oh fudge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Respect that.
Goofball.
It'll go to cocoon here.
Just runs into the back room. Oh,
It'll
what
cocoon.
are you doing here? Nothing.
Go to cocoon.
Just runs into the back room and sees Izzy there having fun. Never mind.
Ew.
Having fun with Gabe
Oh my
and
god.
Paul.
Gabe, the
And-
attention
and then-
seeker.
And then you think to yourself, what in
Excuse
the
me.
really? And you think
What?
to yourself, what in tarnation is this?
What? This one.
And you're like, what in tarnation is love? And then they look at you and be like,
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing.
I'm gonna put some darn
Nothing. Okay, that's enough of that.
Dude.
Tommy. Okay.
Percy.
Thomas. Oh, what happened to the other avatar that I had the last time?
I'm
What?
not sure.
No, what happened to it?
Roar. Dang it. Daddy.
You humans
Really?
have no respect for your elders.
What?
You're the elders.
Thomas, you have no
Yeah.
respect for your elders.
Oh,
My
Aw.
This is why you
you know what? Go inside now.
you have no respect for your elders. Oh, what happened to my voice? Oh my god.
I still her voice. Ha ha ha.
You stole my voice because you
How
did.
dare you?
I can
Thomas,
steal
do you
her
want
voice
you
whenever I
want a surprise?
Sure.
He's gonna
Uh-oh.
love this photo.
Oh no. I'm scared.
Everybody's gonna love it. Or possibly hate it till
Kevin's gonna love this. Hang on.
their brains come out.
Ooh.
Until
Thomas will be Thomas will be in the corner. Acted like Donald Duck, I guess.
Where'd you set a voice?
Guys, you need this photo. Here.
Oh my. The cat.
Wait. Hold on.
Diesel.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
The cats. And
Oh
Yeah.
my
Diesel.
god.
The
Oh.
dog. And the Diesel.
You know how
dare
I
you
change
come
my
in
name every time I change the character, right? So you're gonna like this one, boys. Oh no! It's an actual dude. No, I don't want engine. Hey guys, you need some diesel fuel?
Oh, sorry.
Can I give you some diesel fuel so we can work this thing? Oh no. Oh my god, it's Tyler. getting eaten by a Rottweiler. I better get out of here.
Tyler.
No, that's his name. That's his name. Ask Dane. Ask Dane.
Huh?
What? Peter is arrested because Cleveland's son? What?
Ah, that bit me in the ass.
Ah, Peter beat me, man. Okay,
Oh my
alright. Hey, guess what? I was watching a YouTube
What?
video last night, and
Yeah.
one this is gonna sound ridiculous. One freaking cat. You wanna know the name of it?
What?
What?
James.
What the?
Bruh. Why?
Don't
I'm
you
serious. It was James.
Why you
Hey,
always
who
lying?
was that one
Why
viewer?
you always lying?
Who were you? Who were you?
Oh my god.
If it was you on your other account,
You better stop. Becky, she's lying.
yeah,
She's
you won't.
not.
Okay, I have one more character for you to act as,
Yeah.
and hopefully Thomas won't scream at me.
Oh, you what?
No, you're not allowed to look at the name yet either, or the photo. Hold on, wait, you can't
I'm not
look.
looking. I'm not looking.
No one's looking. All right. Okay, you can look.
Hey, it's Edward Lurchin. What's up, Edward?
All right, you can look. Okay, we're good. Ah! My head.
Ew, Edward. Poor. I'm
Ew,
just kidding.
poor. Yeah, get.
Oh my god.
You know
Shut
what?
up.
He's one of my favorite characters, so get out of here.
I know.
Dane's making fun of one of my favorite characters.
How
Well,
dare you?
hey, is that
How
Gordon
dare
back
you, Dane?
there? Ooh.
Hey, Gordon, what you doing there? You gonna cry?
No, he's gonna go do it with Izzy in the background.
Uh-huh. Look at Easy Gordon. Gonna cry?
Izzy and Gordon having some good times, I see.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Thomas said, Izzy and Gordon gonna cry? And then he was like, look at little Izzy and Gordon gonna cry?
Junior. Gonna
Gonna
cry?
cry? Who knows,
Aw.
Dane? You were probably right. They probably were.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, how's that
Look
work?
at little-
Izzy's a person, yo. That's the magic.
Magical.
No, wait, it's not magic, it's magical.
Magical.
It just like
And?
her or that. Just like Percy
And?
said.
Magical.
No, it went like the how did it go again? Oh bother.
And?
Oh
Magical.
bother. How did it go? Let me see.
Oh my god.
Was it twinkly? No. Yes. No. How did it go? Hold on. Just no.
Proud.
I sent it to you, Thomas, remember? Oh, maybe if I still have the DM, is she really? Aha! It was like twinkly, lovely, and
And?
magical.
Magical. Twinkly. And? Magical.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, God. I saw that Percy now. I saw like him now.
Oh.
And lovely
And?
magical.
Magical. Oh,
How
shoot,
do
I
you
saw
say it
like
like
him
that?
now.
His voice is like magical.
Magical.
Like what kind of voice is that?
Magical.
I don't know.
Oh
I sound like him now.
no! Oh dear! Oh dear! No, you can't take it. You wouldn't even be able to do it. No, Thomas, it's not rar. It's
Damn it!
it's how Dane does it. No, wait a minute.
Darn it.
Thomas, it's not rar, okay?
It's roar.
Yeah. That's all you hear from Dane.
Roar.
I really want to say this, but you do sound like Percy, though. I'll give you that.
Is he the attention seeker?
Now you sound like Shane.
Percy don't love me.
Now you sound like Bingus.
Hey, Daddy, I smacked his home.
Now you sound like Jeffy.
Oh my god.
I got a pencil in my nose. Okay, that's enough. Thomas,
I got a
I will
pencil
smack
in
you
my nose.
until you wake up.
And
I'm not even
grab
sleeping.
dapper everywhere I go.
I was gonna say you better stay awake or I'm gonna have to throw you in the scrapyard.
The scrapyard's a bad place. I've been there.
You've been to the scrapyard? Oh my god! Ah!
There's a lot of parts there.
Oh my god! Oh god! Okay.
I'll be
That's nice. I'll be back. Sounds like Shane.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He sounds like Shane. Like what the? Yeah.
What the hell?
Thomas comes out of the corner. What have I done wrong, Mommy?
Ow.
Thomas, don't hurt yourself. You're not supposed to hurt yourself now. Thomas, what would you like to hear for cheering up? Or for, like, what would you like to hear for something for the night that'll make you happy? Anything related. I'm not showing video because I don't want to get copyrighted for anything. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Stupid
so
YouTube.
tell me. If it's something to do with Thomas and friends, then I swear to gosh, you'll get it.
I got us some
Betcha.
viewers.
How do you...
Yeah.
What?
No, I still see 0. Nice try, buddy.
Yeah.
Or will be. Dane brings all the viewers out of nowhere. Hello.
Oh god, I'm tired. Today was chaotic, I'll tell you that again. Hopefully tomorrow will be a much better day because it's almost Christmas.
You
I
call
think
it...
tomorrow I'm just gonna stay away from social media for a while and just stick to YouTube.
Jet Black... Oh, that's lyrics.
I probably won't post any TikToks tomorrow. Be tired.
Why are
Start watching
people
Christmas
going...
movies and Christmas episodes. Get that.
Twisted Sister live. That's a redub. Look, that's something about vomit. Ew. Ew. That's Def Leppard live in 1983. Mr. Mom. What's your mood now? Happy, normal, sad, angry.
What?
Normal,
Cool.
because what if McQueen never went to Radiator Springs? Cars explained. What the frig? What? Tayo the Little Bus. What I used to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sing.
It's all the movie. It's all the
That's
movie
Bon
saying.
Jovi. Dane's on mute, by the way. That's another redub. That's freaking Eric Cartman. That's a cover. That's the redub that was like just made. What the hell?
Stupid phone. What the heck is wrong with you, phone? What's wrong with you?
Okay, I'm back.
And so was Thomas. And
Gosh,
Thomas and
that's fun.
Kevin switched places. According to, hold on, I can fix that.
Oh.
Actually, Thomas,
Thank you.
Do you have any viewers?
no. How?
Oh. That's too sad.
Sometimes it doesn't show, and sometimes it does, unless someone comments. Then it's easier to tell if you have them or not. What the fuck? Did I just
What?
look at? Thomas, why is your photo like that?
Ah.
Brian kills Rupert. What the? Alrighty.
Wait.
The
Where
heck?
was that at?
Family Guy.
Oh.
It's on YouTube. Those are songs. Jeez. That's Knight Rider. That's Dane typing on the computer. Robot Chicken compilation. What the frick?
Hmm?
Okay. Boy. Very thirsty, but I'm lazy to get up. Yeah, I think that person's channel got deleted. What the hell? Yo, like, that was a channel I was watching all the good stuff on. Now I have to go to that Junction Mail, whatever that, account is called. Junction Malfunction Podcast. Whatever.
Jackson malfunction. What?
No, not Junction Mail. Junction Malfunction
Right.
Podcast. Oh, what season should we look at today? Or should it be a movie?
Guys.
And it's
Oh, my
Thomas and
face.
Friends related.
My face home.
Yay.
Yeah,
I'm using my iPad,
what-
which is kind of hard to set up the camera. So yeah.
Dang.
What do you mean you suck at it? What do you mean, Thomas?
Suck at what? There could be a few things you can suck at, but I don't know what we're talking
Okay,
about.
Dane, I think we're serious right now.
Dang.
Okay, sorry.
Dang. Dang.
Do you mean you
Whoa.
suck at
Okay,
choosing,
Dane.
Thomas? Because if you think that, then that's not right.
No, it's not that.
What is it?
Voice acting, you're doing the wrong thing.
You don't suck at voice acting? Why would you say that?
I don't know, because
I don't know what season to look at right now. Ugh. Yeah, I can't decide between 14, 15, or higher. Or 13. Oh boy.
I just kept trying to do that war thing, and
What do you mean? Like the one voice impression? Or no, that's
No, I
UK
kept on-
version. Stop, I don't want UK version. Honestly. Give me the UK. Okay.
I mean, I kept trying to do that war thing, but it just no.
Oh yeah, slap yourself in the face if that'll wake you up in the morning. Slap, slap, slap.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I love Trevor's username on YouTube. Tall and gay by banishing you to Shed 17.
Oh, that this channel is funny.
Tall and gay by banishing you to Shed 17. That's
Well,
good.
Yeah. So Robert gave me one more chance.
Will Smith slaps Cedric in customs.
I saw that. That was pretty funny. I'll admit that. That was funny.
Tall, you deserve it.
You do. Because
Jackass.
what you did, yeah, him
That's,
and Tall and Gabe.
That's Junior's laugh.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
He sounds
He goes-
retarded.
He
No
goes,
response.
I could That money.
Oh, sorry. Good. Oh, God.
Why don't you follow the third rule and shut your mouth? Sorry.
Now, they told me before they gave Tall and Gabe many chances, and they unblocked them and everything, but they blew it.
Because they're retarded. What do
And
you
became-
expect?
I know, but everyone gave me. They're gonna give me a second chance, right? Yeah, all of them. I should tell Benjamin that. When he
Yeah,
texts me.
but at least you deserve a chance. These idiots.
Yeah,
Don't-
Robert. We talked on the call. He explained everything, and
Shiny, happy people. My reaction as a character when someone finally gets along after 12 years, be like, oh wait, no, sorry, I got that wrong. It goes like this. It goes like, how does it go?
all right.
But I'm pretty sure Dane made something to do with it. Oh yeah, surprised is when your face goes.
What about surprise? Surprise is when your face goes.
Jesus. Alright, well, I think I've been on this live stream for a long time now.
Aw, I guess Dane will be with me right now, telling her.
Why are you on me? Don't on me.
Aw, because Kevin's leaving us. Wow,
I'm tired and no, come on.
come on, you know I'm playing with you.
I know you're playing. I know.
I can't get over Dane's photo. I just can't.
Oh my god. Alright,
It's too much.
y'all take care. I'm gonna just watch something on YouTube to get off what just happened. So,
Alright.
alright, see you guys.
Okay. See you guys.
Can I just put a random photo of Percy right now?
Sure.
That Dane can make fun of?
Okay, please do. Oh, he's blushing.
Oh, sorry, Daddy. Oh, help me. What do you want? Chinese
Chinese, huh?
checkerboards.
Checkerboard. What the?
Please?
Checkerboard.
I need Chinese checkerboards, please. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess no checkerboards for me. Please? Aw, Thomas feels upset because he thinks that he can't do the roar in a good way like you.
Roar!
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, pardon my language, YouTube. But no. He means that he thinks he's terrible at it. He doesn't think he could do a good job. When I said no, Thomas, it's raw, or however Dane did it. When I said no, Thomas, it goes like this, and then Dane did it. That was just me being silly. Like, that wasn't me trying to be rude. That was just me trying to show you how it's done. That's all.
I know.
Creepola.
Chipola. How did it go? He goes, LeBron James. No, like LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James.
Okay, wait. Oh my god, Percy, what's with the eyes being closed? Oh, sorry. You need to see a puzzled face. I would only be able to show that if I switch to the other phone, which will be easy because the link's in the description. So, I can easily get back in. Hold on. I'm at least gonna let this go for an hour because, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Hold on.
My cat's being super sweet.
Exactly, Thomas. You just gotta keep trying. Like, I don't even try. I don't even try, and according to this guy right here, I sound like Percy. Like,
That's lovely to keep in your room with the cat.
I don't even try. I just talk. And then Dane over here
Yeah.
tells me I sound like Percy sometimes. Like, I only just talk. I don't try. I just talk.
Yeah.
We'll switch phones real fast.
Okay.
Oh no, Percy left. Oh, wait, that's better.
There she is.
See? Easy.
Yep.
Now, where's that photo that I was gonna... If the phone stop being
Oh.
slow.
Oh shoot, level 3. I get going.
The photo or confused photo or whatever photo I was trying to show you guys
Yeah, you can show before I leave.
was technically... Oh, wait a minute. There's too many avatars. Hold on.
Oh, Robert gave
It
you.
was this one.
Oh, that's awesome. Robert gave Kevin a
Oh
chance. How
yeah,
lovely.
you can only go up to 10 avatars. That's confusing. Like, why can't... You know what else is confusing? The
What?
reason why I have the photo like that right now, because I'm actually kind of quite confused at something. That would be... Why does it only let you have 10 avatars on your screen to switch to? Like, why can't you, like, have more than that? Like, why? I just don't get it. It's weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh. Awkward, I guess. Let me check my Discord.
I gotta head out the stream.
Alrighty, hold
level
on. Let me see what I missed
Okay.
on Discord because I left when I first see alien models.
I'm learning how to use a music bot on Discord.
Okay.
What? Just stop doing that.
I'm confused. Like, what in God's name was that all about on Discord?
I had
Sheesh.
no idea.
No, like, what was that about?
I don't know.
Like, sheesh.
Well, I'm gonna head off now. It's 11:33. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Thomas.
Alrighty, Thomas.
See y'all tomorrow. Good night.
Percy, really that picture?
I'm confused right now. Like, I'm just confused about, like, some things, like the drama and all that. Because sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me. That's...
Yeah, like how they all made up so like easily. Like I got kind of confused. Wait, so
yeah,
like they actually made
it's
up?
confusing. Like, not only that, but I don't understand why not Discord, StreamYard doesn't let you have more than one audio avatar when you want to choose from like a bunch at once. I don't like that. It only goes up to 10. What the hell? That's weird. It's just like how many people are allowed in StreamYard. It only goes up to 10. That's just yeah. At least it's better than Instagram. And
That
that's
is true.
the reason I had that photo is because I was showing you it, obviously, because like I said before, I wanted to show you the photo, but I couldn't because it was on the other phone, so I had to I mean, no, I couldn't because this photo wasn't on the other phone, it was on this phone because I had to screenshot it. So yeah, but what the frick? I'm confused about this. What the hell? Found this in a server. What the Might as well. It's upside down. Frick's sake. What the hell? My hand is shaking. Sorry, guys.
Aw. Shaky hand.
No, look at that. Like, what the actual hell? Hold on, I'm having issues holding the phone the way it should be. Is that the right way? Okay. It's being retarded. Because it's being doofus bug right now. There it is.
Bug.
Look. Don't ask me. Please. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Shane sent it to Discord. It's funny. I had my own little meme. Well, it's not really my meme. It's basically like created or something. But it's that the don't call me Dirty Percy. Don't fucking call me
Okay.
Dirty Percy.
Hang on 1 second.
Aww. What the? Oh, wait a minute. Just realized I didn't change the name back to the one it's supposed to be. Excuse me. Oh no, I don't want to do that. What in the world is that? Sorry for being quiet, guys. Just don't know what I'm doing right now.
Sorry, I just came to just say that I'm gonna be eating dinner for like another 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay.
Sorry, I just ran to get my cat because she got out of my room.
Oh my god. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, I don't know what to watch. Oh, excuse me. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, what's with the freaking advertisements?
In the teaser for the upcoming Pixar movie Cars 3, we see Lightning McQueen get lifted into the air on the racetrack. Sparks fly, smoke billows from the car. It's not looking good for old Lightning, but there is some good news. He just saved 15% or more on his car insurance by switching to Geico.
Jesus. I do not want to get myself copyrighted for that type of music.
Show where crazy ideas supported by detailed research always gets the checkered flag. Now, as many of you loyal theorists know, I love me some Pixar, even if I do have a strange way of showing it. And by strange way of showing it, I mean ruining your childhood memories of beloved characters. Look, I'm not the one who decided that everybody in WALL-E is a cannibal. I just pointed it out, okay? Don't kill the messenger and then liquefy their body and drink them as creepy future food. But never mind those of you who wish to have your childhood remain intact, because today's Pixar theory isn't gonna have some deep, dark twist. Or is it? No, it isn't. Probably. Instead, today we're simply going to consider the world of cars. A world that looks just like our own, except that there's no people and all the machines run themselves. To catch you up, the first Cars movie gave us the story of a young hotshot race car named Lightning McQueen who gets a shot at the championship, but then gives it up because he realizes how important the other people in his other cars in his life really are. The sequel was the next obvious place that you take that concept, a complicated spy thriller about car espionage and alternative fuel source conspiracy theories, because why not? And Cars 3 looks like it's lining up to be a comeback story. We've got a trailer which shows lightning in a catastrophic crash, and if this series keeps following the trajectory of the Rocky series, the third installment will be about our heroes fight back up to the top. And hey, if we're really lucky, we'll get a fourth one where McQueen races against a Russian muscle car and solves communism.
What?
Sure, you laughed that sounds ridiculous, but I bet you didn't expect the spy thriller plot either. Long story short, the Cars
That
universe
is just
has
weird.
always been a weird one, filled with a lot of questions about the logistics of a world filled only with sentient automobiles. But one question none of us have ever really stopped to answer is this: are the cars in Cars really cars? I mean, sure, it's the title of the movie and they look and behave like cars, but who knows? That just may be more of mainstream media's fake news. I mean, they have eyes and tongues and there are no drivers, and let's be honest, how did a society of living cars even come to be in the first place? They're clearly on Earth, but there are no humans, so what happened? What are these creatures? I am 100% confident I figured it out, and spoiler alert, they're not cars. What started out as a simple, stupid question led me down the rabbit hole of this bizarre car-themed universe, and the answers I found will upend everything you thought you knew about Mater and the gang. And the details I find here pose some really interesting revelations about that infamous Pixar theory. A theory that you all have wanted me to cover for quite a long time. So theorists, start your searching, because it's time to take this Cars Omnip theory from 0 to 60 in about 15 minutes flat. Now, to begin, it probably merits taking a second to acquaint you with that Pixar theory. A theory that started with, as far as I can tell, online movie blogger John Negroni, which aims to unite all the Pixar movies into not just the same universe, but also come up with a cohesive timeline of events where one movie leads to the next, leads to the next. Suck on that, Marvel. Here's everyone thinking you started the whole huge connected cinematic universe thing, but Pixar's been doing it back since 1995, in a theoretical sense. So no wonder you don't have an Oscar award yet, and yet Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad does. Now, I'm not going to dive into the nitty-gritty of that theory today. It's one that we'll probably be piecing together on our own across multiple future Pixar episodes. But to get a taste of this thing and start you thinking about it, take the example of By and Large. Most casual Pixar viewers know it as the corporation that runs everything in WALL-E. World leadership. We have no one but them to thank for the cannibalistic cupcake and cup. But for really astute viewers, you can actually see the company's rise to power throughout multiple other Pixar films. In Toy Story 3, you can see their logo on Buzz's batteries. By the time you get to Up, By and Large is now involved in the construction business, with their logo on the equipment in front of Carl's house. And it's not just the equipment, B&L is also buying all the houses in Carl's neighborhood.
That must be evident. Take this old place off your hands and double his last offer. What do you say to that?
And yet this is even spreading to the Cars franchise now. If you examine the Cars 3 extended trailer frame by frame, you see the logo appear at the stadium, making it the first time By and Large has appeared anywhere in the Cars movie series. Did you spot it? Here, let me slow it down for you. Still no? Here, let's go frame by frame. Welcome to my life writing theories. I live my life a quarter frame at a time. Now, the reason I wanted to start talking about this today is because I have a few problems with the Pixar theory timeline, and the first major batch revolves around cars. The theory goes that a super intelligent AI, first created by Syndrome in his quest to kill all the superheroes back in The Incredibles, forms B&L to take control of the planet. Along the way, intelligent animals like the ones that we see in Finding Nemo and Ratatouille rise up against humans, war ensues, animals are killed off, and the AI, acting through By and Large, send humans into space, thus kicking off WALL-E and leaving the planet alone to the AI. The AI begin a life of freedom on their newly conquered planet by assuming the form of sentient cars, planes, boats, and trains. Because seriously, think about the coolest way to get around. That's why you don't see humans or animals in either car movie, and yet see the remnants of human society like the Eiffel Tower, Route 66, and things like that. Oh, man, you got all that? Being apart and piecing together this whole theory in detail is gonna be like this channel's equivalent of FNAF. Well, no time like the present. Carpe that diem. Let's start today. So this whole Pixar theory is an interesting explanation, but there are a lot of assumptions. Assumptions that when you actually stop to look at the deeper evidence just don't work out. And the first set of assumptions that I want to tackle today has to do with the nature of the cars. You see, based on the theory as it exists, the cars would be basically smart, driverless cars taken over by Syndrome's super advanced AI. They would be cars, machines with computers in them controlled by an AI, except they're not. The cars are actually organic creatures, living creatures with a car body as a tough exoskeleton, but containing some sort of internal organs, a soft and squishy inside like the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. You could almost equate them to the terrible monster truck movie that no one bothered to see. By the way, it's worth mentioning that thing cost $125 million to make and only earned back $60 million. Makes you almost feel bad for them. Almost. Anyway, back to the good car movies. We know that the cars are living from a bunch of different evidence sprinkled throughout the various car features.
Ah, stupid commercials. Come on, commercial. I don't want to deal with you tonight. Can I skip the other one? Thank you.
Delicious treats. First, they breathe oxygen. At the opening of Cars 2, we see super spy Finn McMissile put on an underwater respirator in order to swim out of sight of the criminal syndicate. Later in that same movie, we see plenty of scenes of cars eating and drinking. On the plane to Japan, we see snack foods littered around the floor, things like chips and sushi. And again at the party, more sushi at the bar. And of course, the infamous pistachio ice cream bit. How about that pistachio ice cream? A scene that tells us Mater knows what pistachios are, what ice cream is, and has tasted it and enjoyed it. And sure, we see them drinking varieties of oil and gas, presumably to power their engines. But why would they actually need to ingest food products if they weren't organic in some way? Even some of the offshoot cartoons support the idea of the cars being organic creatures. In the first Tales from Radiator Springs short, we see Lightning McQueen getting a case of hiccups. Hiccups are caused by irritating the diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle at the bottom of your chest. When you do things like eat or drink too quickly, it upsets the diaphragm and causes it to pull down in a jerky way. You suck air into your throat suddenly, your vocal cords close abruptly, and you're left with a hiccup. All of this evidence, from the underwater breathing to the food to the hiccups, implies that under the hood of the cars, both literally and figuratively, they possess internal organs like lungs, stomachs, and diaphragms in addition to their car engines. But perhaps the biggest confirmation comes from the animators themselves. In most interviews, the Pixar crew tends to be dismissive of biological questions as they relate to the cars.
I'm sorry, we had to turn off the video here.
But one featurette released on the official Disney Pixar channel entitled Pixar Studio Stories gave us all of the confirmation that we needed.
He can't open his doors because that's where his brains are.
They have a brain, a giant pink pulsating brain hid behind those car windows. It's just disturbing. Try getting that out of your head the next time you see a Cars movie. Bring out the brain bleach, please. So it would appear that the cars are actual living creatures and not just some highly advanced driverless cars. And before you complain about how stupid that all sounds, there's an actual evolutionary change present throughout these films. At about 50 minutes and 10 seconds into Cars 2, as if watching nearly an hour of a kid's movie featuring cars in Japan busting a fake eco-friendly fuel ring and a massive James Bond riff wasn't bizarre enough, we see birds, except they're not birds. They're actually mini planes. Think that was just because the Pixar team was off their meds for what seems like the entirety of this movie? Well, think again, because in another of the Tales from Radiator Springs animated shorts, you actually get VW Beetles, tiny cars with insect wings that make up this disturbing universe's bug population, thus proving that the Pixar team is off their meds literally all the time, or on something else. Now, this is an important detail because it shows us that in this universe, these car-like creatures don't just become planes when they fly like the birds, but rather they can develop organic wings like those of a dragonfly. And all of this is without even mentioning the fact that there exist alien car-like species, as we see in Mater's Tall Tales UFO edition, which we know is true since Mater shows that he can in fact fly in the end of the episode. As one final detail, it's interesting to note that the rubber tires are aren't part of these car creatures. In multiple parts of the series, but most notably Car2's train scene, we see characters moving around with their tires removed. They're the equivalent of shoes for the cars, going on the feet, or in this case, rims. Suffice it to say, alien or no, these are living creatures with internal organs that are protected by a car-like exoskeleton, and with multiple differentiated animal-like species that have evolved over time, from literal boats, planes, and cranes to bug-like and bird-like animals. In short, when you look at all of this evidence, there is only one possible conclusion, that the cars in Cars aren't cars at all, but are much more likely a highly evolved form of insect. Sounds ridiculous, but think about it. Just like an insect has a hard exoskeleton made of chitin, the creatures in the Carverse have evolved a stronger exoskeleton made of various metals. Neither cars nor insects seem to possess an internal skeleton, and so in both creatures,
But
muscles
wait.
appear to be directly attached.
But wait, they can't be insect-like creatures because they can talk. Like, actually, like, speak words. So, wait a minute. It's more likely human-like, except with a car body. That... Whatever.
The exoskeleton itself. An insect's exoskeleton isn't a single surface, but rather consists of multiple jointed plates, so that when an insect moves a muscle, it causes the connected exoskeleton plate pieces to move as well. It's the same style of movement that we see in the cars. Multiple hard plates or shells moving when the internal musculature moves as well. But most importantly of all, and the piece of evidence that solidifies this, is as we saw with the VW Beetle example, some species of the cars are able to grow wings that aren't made of metal. Instead, based on the appearance and behavior of those wings, they're made of chitin, just like the wings of a dragonfly, the same substance that makes up an insect's exoskeleton. Those chitin-based wings are a remnant from the car's evolutionary ancestors. The cars in Cars aren't cars, they're insects. And that does some really interesting things for the Pixar theory. First and
But
foremost, it
that
removes
makes no
cars from being
sense. Insects don't talk like us. Humans talk like this.
really long time. So
They're
we have
not
to wait for all these
insects.
Nemo's and Incredibles of the world, and
Yeah,
turn
you
out,
didn't end it. Phew.
surprisingly enough, we do have
No, this is just weird.
Okay, what's weird?
hard creatures in
That-
multiple parts of this.
This is confusing. So you can tell by the photo. This is confusing. Apparently, in this film theory, the cars in the Cars movie are not cars,
Just no.
rather like insects. What the hell? What kind of film theory is this? Like, I've seen it before, so don't worry.
Okay.
But I'm serious. It's called film theory. The cars in the Cars movie aren't cars, and they explain that they're more like insect-like things. That I don't
Insect.
get it.
What the
But
hell?
they can't be because they talk English. They speak like us. It's more like they're more like human-like, except for the fact that their bodies are car-like.
Oof.
Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like they're like us, but it's not human skin or human flesh. It's a body of a car, more like. But I mean, that's just a theory. There's also a theory that states that Wall-E feasts on flesh.
What? Just no. Oh, a cat.
Or it says, or like he's a cannibal or something. I know. It's weird. These theories are awkward. Imagine having a theory of Thomas and Friends and wondering, what the hell is this?
Okay, how am I using this? Hang on.
Film theory. Is Dory faking? Film theory. The Minions and Minions aren't Minions? What? Wait a minute. These are film theories still. I think I've seen the Minion one, but not all of it. I don't think. Have I? I don't know. What a nice starting to that film theory. A minion playing soccer. It hit you in the head. Here we go again.
We can't get you matching overalls and 3 months of karate classes. Today we're talking Minions, adorable little tic-tac creatures first introduced in the 2010 movie Despicable Me. Now, admittedly, I was a latecomer to this franchise, so I was always confused to hear how successful these films were. I mean, a movie with the word despicable in the name? It's a weird choice. Aren't most kids' movies named after something like Dog Goes Home or I Love Train? And
I love Train.
movie with the word despicable in the name?
Can I just show you this real quick?
Home or I Love Train.
Can I just show you people this? Even Dane might think it's weird.
Huh?
J-
Uh-oh.
Dog
Oh, boy.
Goes Home. What the hell? I love Train. What the?
I Love Train. I mean, I Love Train.
No, what? I mean,
Oh, that's like an I Love Toy Train parody.
wait, what the
I
hell?
wanna let go.
He's not cute, certainly not cuddly, and he's definitely not your typical children's protagonist. I mean, what was it about these films that had people so addicted?
They're funny. That's why.
Here's the secret sauce, friends. Simple
Okay,
design,
what's going on in your server?
talking in a silly language. The minions just seem
I can't check because the one I'm doing the stream on, that's where I have Discord.
True story. My son
So,
I've never seen
I don't know.
anything with these creatures. No videos, no movies, no nothing. He fell in love with them at Christmas after seeing their inflatables on people's lawns. He literally would go up to these things in strangers' front yards and hug them. And eventually,
Because they're minions.
the set of a Mr. Beast Christmas video. Sorry about that one, Jimmy. Figured you didn't want it. Needless to say, Ollie loved it.
It's down.
Yeah.
Like how these movies earned at least $3.5 billion, becoming the most profitable Universal Studios films in their 100-year history. But what are they exactly outside of merchandising gold? I mean, if you pay attention to the Minionverse, you see that both Bruce Willis and Gollum exist. Yet vampires and werewolves are real. And thanks to a cameo in The Secret Life of Pets, it's also a world with talking
Vampires and werewolves aren't real. What the heck?
Supernatural creatures, these indestructible bipedal pill people are probably some of the most noteworthy. And that's what I aim to discuss today. Because let me tell you, friends, when you look into the lore of these movies, something is clearly amiss. The minions are hiding a secret. Or should I say, most of the minions are hiding a secret. And that's the
Yeah,
fact
I'm gonna
that
meet some new
aren't
people real quick.
actually minions at all. Get ready to be illuminated about Illumination Entertainment's biggest, smallest cash cows. Today, I'm exposing the minions.
Hello.
No, not like that. Now, some of you, I'm assuming the parents out there watching who've been forced to consume these movies so many times that it would be used as an interrogation technique in Guantanamo, are probably saying, Pat, they have a whole movie dedicated to their origin story. It's called Minions, and the whole opening sequence is dedicated to their evolution. And yes, my poor beleaguered viewers, your repeated consumption of child-focused mass media hasn't gone in vain. During the opening moments of their solo spin-off movie Minions, we're treated to a breakdown of their development.
Minions have been on this planet far longer than we have.
First, we see them as single-cell organisms in the ocean millennia ago. Eventually, these invertebrates grow a spine, both literally and figuratively, and bravely walk out of the ocean looking largely like they do in the modern day. Big eyes, walking on two legs, language still a mix of French, Spanish, English, and mush, which, wait a minute, it means that all human language probably originated from them? Oh, that is terrifying. Anyway, we're told that at the beginning their goal has always been to serve the most despicable master that they can find. From the biggest, baddest amoeba to terrifying rhinos, Count Dracula, and even Napoleon himself. Even the official movie synopsis backs this up. So why am I doing a whole theory about figuring out what these guys are when the movies tell us what they are? Well, because that isn't our whole story. In that prequel movie, we witness all the minions that exist. We see their society leave the ocean. We see their journey across time and their various new masters. We see the era where they hole up in an ice cave waiting to find a new villain to follow. If you pause the widest of wide shots in this movie, you see that the total minion population is about 230. Yeah, I counted. Now, it's worth noting that that number doesn't change. Despite this movie covering centuries, we're following the same minions the entire time. One way to prove this is by tracking specific minions throughout each scene. Whether it's prehistory or the French Revolution, the same set of characters exist. Same design, same personality. They do not die. But you don't even have to go that far. The creator of the Minions, Pierre Coffin, has outright confirmed that fact in an interview with HuffPost. Quote, "Minions are so dumb that they couldn't be girls. Once you start saying, well, they do reproduce and it happens this way, it obviously becomes awkward. And so, however many minions exist now is the same number that have existed through the centuries. They are basically immortal. Except there's a huge problem with this. In later movies of the timeline, we see way more minions. Not just a couple hundred, mind you, but a couple thousand. In fact, we know that Gru has an army of exactly 10,400 minions who live in this cavernous lair where they construct missiles, cook jelly, and also clean his house. We know that this massive number is correct because of a social media post made back in 2013 on the Despicable Me Facebook page, which gives us the exact figure. And honestly, it seems plausible. Movies that canonically fall later in the series show countless thousands of minions gathering to hear Gru's announcements in the lab. So how did we go from 230 to 10,400 when, remember, they're creatures that do not reproduce but also do not die? Well, it can only mean one thing. The vast majority of the minions aren't actually minions. They're minion copies. Gru, recognizing the indestructible strength of the creatures, copied them, cloned them, rebuilt them, did something to replicate the amazing abilities of the 230 original minion creatures, which means that in the series there are over 10,000 minions that aren't actually minions, but rather minion knockoffs. So then, what are they exactly? Biological? Technological? I wanted to see how far I could take it, so I kept digging. My first guess was that these copies were robots. We see in the first movie, Despicable Me, that the knockoff minions are able to survive without oxygen. We learned this after a minion drinks some formula in Gru's lab, inflating him and sending him off into Earth's outer atmosphere. This particular minion also proves that they can survive in the most extreme of temperatures. At the end of the movie, we see this guy once again, still alive and floating around through space where he gets hit by Gru's rocket. Considering they can reach temperatures of minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 265 Celsius in space, these guys are resilient. And what's more, this minion seems legitimately cozy while it's floating around, despite the fact that it might never return to Earth and could potentially float into the void of space for eternity, like some G-rated version of Gravity. Lastly, the minions apparently don't need food or water. Sure, they like bananas, but clearly eating isn't necessary for their survival, considering, yet again, this guy's been floating around in space for weeks without so much as a sandwich. That being said, there were a few problems with the robot theory. First, the butt. In the first two films, we learned that the minions can fart.
Dumb commercials. Get out of here.
This implies the existence of a digestive tract, whether or not they need the food to actually survive. We also know that while they can't die and while deadly explosions merely elicit a giggle, they can feel small amounts of pain. Like here where we see one of the minions hit on the head with a hammer. But what kills the robot cyborg angle is Despicable Me 2, when they're hit by the PX41 mutagen, a mutagen that alters the DNA of a creature to transform it into a killing machine. And sure enough, they mutate into uber minions that can swallow missiles without issue, and they eventually mutate back into regular minion form. This means that they have DNA. If they were robots, the gas wouldn't be able to mutate their genetics. Something else is going on. No, I'm going to tell you what's really going on here. The truth hiding beneath the surface of these kids' movies. The first clue as to what's really happening is a teeny moment from a few frames in the first Despicable Me. In the background of the girls' room, there's a minion blueprint that actually lets us know that we're onto something. That some of these imposter minions have indeed been manufactured by Gru. We see in this plan that they're made from something called gelato matter. I'm assuming a play on ice cream. Then they have dentures and have a brain the size of a peanut. The existence of this blueprint leads me to believe that Gru and his assistant, Dr. Nefario, have either replicated or created a brand new race of subservient creatures based off the original Minions. There's actually further proof of this in the Despicable Me short film Orientation Day, where we watch a training film for new Minions. In it, we see this infographic, a single strand of DNA being replicated out to form hundreds of Minions. They're clones. Based on early evidence from the first two films, it seems that Gru and Dr. Nefario, after encountering the OG Minions, that first batch of 230, began to replicate them via a single strand of DNA, filling out the ranks with copies made of gelato matter and dentures, until the ranks had expanded to 10,400, which, gotta admit, is pretty wild. Also proves that Gru and Dr. Nefario are brilliant geneticists who probably could be making a lot more money curing cancer or, creating vaccines rather than stealing the Statue of Liberty from Las Vegas. The best part of this theory, though, is that if you go back to Despicable Me 2 and 3,
Sorry, guys.
that there's a group of Minions that Gru favors above and beyond the others. Why? Well, it's because they're the real ones. He's been working with that original group of 230 Minions since 1968. And since the Minions don't die and haven't been able to kill him like they tend to do with their masters, he's been able to bond with that original crew. That's why the original crew go to his wedding in Despicable Me 2 and have their own clubhouse in Despicable Me 3 that is separate from where the other 10,000 plus clones live. One final added wrinkle to the backstory. In 2012, the Minion Mayhem ride at Universal Studios was opened. The introduction to the ride suggests that Dr. Nefario and Gru have found a way to turn humans into minions via the Minionizer, a gun that alters human genetics and turns them into the impervious henchmen. So that pretty much confirms our genetic cloning theory. But could it also mean that some of the Minions are human? Maybe, but since the ride came into existence 2 years after the first film, it's likely the 10,400 Minions that Gru had at the time aren't human. But if that number continues to grow, you now know how it happens. Minions are humans. So there you have it, friends. As much as it might seem like the title of this video is clickbait, it's not. The Minions in Minions aren't actually Minions. The vast majority of what we call Minions in this franchise are actually clones of the original 200. The biggest issue now, though, is what you do with them. I mean, Gru won't always be around to watch over these guys. He's opened a yellow cylindrical Pandora's box by creating so many of these evil-seeking creatures. The world is lucky that the Minions found Gru, who, from 1968 to 2010, seemed more interested in committing non-violent crimes that involved stealing large electronics. But when he's gone, what comes next? In Minions, it only took 3 henchmen to steal the Queen's crown and become ruler of England. In Despicable Me 2, one evil Minion plowed its way through security measures and hundreds of feet of concrete. If a lucky evil person is able to acquire their services, they'll have an army of morally corrupt employees who are just waiting for chaos. The 200 or so original Minions helped carve out massive chunks of world history. Imagine what 10,400 of them can do. In the movies, Gru kind of sucks at being a criminal. He's just not good at being evil. But when Gru decided to clone the Minions, he actually did the most evil thing he possibly could have. He doomed the world to have to keep these things in check forever. Sure, the Minions may appear to be dutifully serving a singular master, but by cloning 10,000 of them, it's all of us who will be forced to serve them. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Alrighty then. Wait.
Are you looking for a realtor who serves the entire contact Century 21?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put my. Go back to where it was. Okay, there we go.
Looking back, Arthur might not be the wholesome PBS Kids cartoon that we all thought it was. I mean, he had an episode where everyone in school struggled with addiction to strange ingredients in the candy bars that they were eating. That's certainly concerning. And the whole world seems... after a hard day of theorizing, it's good to just kick back and watch some Paw Patrol with my son. No deeper meanings to analyze, just a fun-loving show about puppies. So simple, so wholesome. Hold on, are these puppies dead? Oh, it's happening again! Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, ruining your childhood since 2014. But you know what? I'm not content to just ruining your childhood. Oh no! I've got my sights set on your children's childhoods too. Today we're breaking new ground by looking at shows
My
that
friend is playing
fucking kids. I mean, the 3-year-olds.
Eminem right.
Oliver. Yep, it's another
Oh,
installment.
Lord.
Like, why?
Now you have to suffer through the consequences. My 3-year-old is programming
Like,
a
bruh.
10 subscriber YouTube channel without even realizing it. They just grow up so fast. Now, admittedly, I actually really like this show. The Paw Patrol is a team of 6 puppies led by a 10-year-old boy named Ryder. Each pup has a specific set of skills based on emergency services. There's Chase the police officer dog, Marshall the firefighter, Sky the aviation dog, Rubble the construction pup, Zuma for water rescue, and Rocky for garbage collection. Every once in a while, you have a special guest dog make an appearance, like Everest the mountain pup or Liberty the city pup. But for like 90% of episodes, this is our core team. And from there, each episode is pretty formulaic. They're hanging out in the city of Adventure Bay. There's some
God.
disaster like a windmill breaks or someone gets stuck in a cave. The Paw Patrol are called to action. They suit up. We hear this line.
Ready for action, Ryder, sir.
There's a mission brief. They slide down and load up into their specially designed pupmobiles. And through some combination of skills, the day is saved and a lesson is learned. Usually the lesson for me is that a shocking amount of problems can be solved using a winch.
I'll need you to use your winch. Chase, I'll need you and your winch. I need your winch. Get your winch out, Chase.
Also, the more you watch, the more it becomes clear that they had no idea what to do with some of these pups. Marshall with his fire rescue equipment, total MVP. Rubble with his construction tools, best boy. Zuma the water dog, meanwhile, yeah, you can sit this one out, buddy. And the next one. And the next one. You know what? Just pose for the lunchbox. To be honest,
Just pose for the lunchbox.
self-aware use of the formula for some really solid films. Like here.
You heard that?
Yeah, I'm hearing your. I've heard your whole video, Percy.
Can of worms,
Oh.
I feel like I should
I've
probably
been
have-
hearing it.
I'm watching film theories.
Oh, awesome.
Only here, because the formula demands it, it also gets its name shouted out. It's a nice touch.
Alien.
Like this, when construction dog Rubble gets trapped, the only one available to drive his rig is Zuma.
We need his truck to move.
Me?
Zuma, on the double.
And he just Zuma is just the butt of all jokes. Sure, the whole thing is designed around some very
I should watch Paw Patrol more often. See if I can laugh.
get one.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna end this soon though, because I'm tired. Probably when it hits 2 hours. I don't know. I'll see.
I'll be talking to these 2 wacko girls for like 5 hours, probably.
Oh god, knowing you, you will be.
Yeah.
What in the...
I'll be making it rain hundreds too. I'm just kidding.
Oh jeez.
If you know what I mean.
It would be cool if they did a series on any kid show that we like.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing a theory on my favorite show and wondering what is this? Oh, are they not who they say they are? Are they not the actual type vehicles, or what is this? Are they secretly people?
I don't know.
Imagine if they did one on Thomas, eh? That would be kind of weird. Then, but then he would be talking about it, and I'd be like, "Are you serious? You just ruined my childhood, dude." If they did something like that, which I don't think they would, but you don't know that. Nobody knows that, right? Exactly. There's always a theory for something, I'm pretty sure.
I'll come back to later. In this episode, we learned that Rubble was actually the last member of the team to join. Basically, he was a stray puppy that needed to be saved. After the Paw Patrol rescues him, he winds up tagging along on their next mission to rescue a snowboarder trapped on a snowy mountain. When Ryder's shovel can't dig up the snow, Baby Rubble steps in to save the day.
Baby
Rubble winds up earning him a spot on the team. He receives his signature pup tag, hard hat, and construction vehicle. Cue the end credits. But hold on. Look closer at what happens in the episode.
Oh wait, how did it drive? I don't get. Never mind.
Fire is Marshall. The star represents
Anything's possible in a cartoon, guys. Remember that.
Anchor is Zuma. seriously for as little as it's used. It might as well not be there. And of course, the wrench is for Rubble. But this is the first time that we've met Rubble. He was literally just saved by the team less than an hour ago, but he has a dog tag on the screen? A tag that he won't get till proving his worth at the end of the episode. His yellow segment is also already on Ryder's pup pad. How could it be there if they don't have a construction pup yet? The only way that this makes sense is if there was a construction pup prior to Rubble. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this is an animation error or something, but the evidence proving that there was a pup prior to Rubble really starts to add up once you look for it. At the end of the episode, we see Ryder give Rubble his construction helmet, but if you look closely at the helmet, it has scrapes on it as though it's been used. This isn't a brand new helmet for a brand new profession within the Paw Patrol. This helmet used to be the last construction pup's helmet. Rubble is also given the construction rig, which also has wear and tear on the front of the bulldozer portion. See that paint wearing away? Again, it's been used before. More noteworthy, though, is the fact that Rubble's too small for the vehicle. And Ryder explicitly says that he's going to need to grow first before he can truly reach the wheel.
You have a little bit of growing to do before you can reach the steering wheel, but you'll get there.
All the other pups
Ah, I hate the commercials.
have vehicles that
Okay.
fit them perfectly.
I got
When
it.
other new pups join the Paw Patrol.
Oh wait,
every-
I
You have a
was
little bit of
talking.
growing to do before you can
I was
reach the
talking when
steering
they
wheel,
mentioned
but
that
you'll
part.
get there.
Whoops.
All the other pups have vehicles that fit them perfectly. In fact, when other new pups join the Paw Patrol, like Everest, Tracker, and Liberty, their gear fits them perfectly the first time. So Ryder is clearly capable of making gear that fits Rubble when he's small, but he doesn't. Why? It must be some sort of hand-me-down. He already had the equipment from the last construction pup available. Why make a whole new vehicle if there's a perfectly good one sitting there waiting to be used? And again, if you think I'm looking too
Again.
far into this, here is the definitive proof that I'm right. You'll notice that each vehicle is numbered. Ryder's ATV is 1 because he's the leader. Chase is 2, Marshall 3, Sky 4, Rocky 5, Rubble 6, and Zuma 7. But did you notice a problem with that? We know out of these pups that Rubble is the last to join the team because during his story we see all the rest of the team. And yet here's his pupmobile numbered 6 of 7. This is proof that there was a puppy before Rubble doing his job. The numbers do not lie. Zuma being number 7 proves it. Hey, would you look at that? Zuma is finally useful for something. The more you look, you start to see
That was just rude. Oh, would you look at that? Zuma's finally useful for something. That was just that. Okay.
The implication here is that some dog held the record before him, but what other fire pups exist in this world? No municipality outside of Adventure Bay really seems to use anything similar to a Paw Patrol. In the Paw Patrol movie, for instance, we start off with a semi-truck driving off a bridge. When Captain Turbot mentions the Paw Patrol, truck driver has no idea what he's talking about. He's in shock when a puppy comes to rescue him.
Call the police, call the fire department, call everybody. You're Adventure Bay. Here, we call the Paw Patrol. You gotta call the who?
Same thing here.
You gotta call the Who. The Who. Doctor Who. I'm just kidding, guys.
The idea of a team of rescue dogs just isn't.
By the way, when I say guys when no one's watching, I mean everybody that is gonna see it when it's on YouTube. That's what I mean.
Fastest fire pump trophy. It looks exactly like Marshall's fire engine, except Marshall doesn't have the record. Same vehicle, different pup, just like we saw with Rubble. But that's when you start to notice a really disturbing trend. All the pups are stray dogs. They're sad, they're scared, and they're alone. Then, and only then, are they enlisted by Ryder. We just covered Rubble's origin story where he's a baby puppy in danger, but the same actually holds true for Chase, the police dog. In fact, that's pretty much the main plot of the Paw Patrol movie. Chase's origin story is that he's a puppy that was abandoned on the street by his owners. He's almost hit by an oncoming car, when suddenly he's rescued by Ryder and recruited onto the team.
I know. You saw me and took pity on me. Not at all. I chose you because you were the bravest pup I'd ever seen.
Later that same movie, Liberty is added to the team, another stray dog that we
You ever wonder how people like understand their speech?
In fact,
Like, how do they understand it? This reminds me of Family Guy, except Family Guy's kind of silly. Because something tells me they understand Stewie, but they just don't listen to him. because they just ignore him. That's what I heard about it. Is that everybody understands Stewie, but they don't really. They just don't listen. They don't care or something. I don't know. They just don't listen because he's a baby. I guess that's the that's the I guess that's just how it is, I guess, because when you're a baby, people are not gonna they're not gonna like take you seriously. That's how it went. That's how it went. I got it wrong. Sorry. I got it wrong. Even to Dane, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. My bad. But I watched this video, right? And it said that it was basically a video called Everyone Can Understand Stewie, right? From Family Guy. Well, here's the thing. Apparently, according to a comment, Stewie, now everybody does understand him. It's just that they don't take him seriously because he's just a baby. That's basically what I heard. It's confusing, but I guess it's true, I guess. I don't know. I don't look at the backstories.
Listed to be a Paw Patrol member. Mountain Dog Everest, Jungle Dog Tracker. Yep, they're the exact same way.
I can't wait to meet them. It's kind of lonely sometimes. Are you going to stay around here? It would be great to have a friend nearby.
I'd like to make you an official member of the Paw Patrol.
Ryder collects abandoned, stray, and orphan dogs to add to his team. Why? Well, here's where it all starts to come together. The missing pups, the new additions to the team, they're all expendable. That's why it's a rescue team made of dogs. Ryder doesn't use the pups for rescues because they're best suited for the task. He's using them because the risk of losing a human life is too great. And having puppies perform the rescues means minimum human casualties. If a dog dies trying to save someone from a house fire or a rock slide, they can be replaced. We actually do see this in real life with avalanche rescue dogs. When an avalanche occurs, dogs are sent out to search for anyone buried under the snow to dig them out. Unfortunately, this means that in some cases, dogs might be hit by the avalanche and not survive. But this also means that in the process, they've spared the lives of any humans that would have attempted the rescue instead. And who could be more expendable than lone stray dogs with no home wandering the streets?
I chose you because you were the bravest pup I'd ever seen.
No, Ryder, be honest with yourself. You chose him because he was there, because he was unwanted and no one would miss him. In success, he becomes a top-tier rescuer. In failure, he's just another forgotten puppy that would have died on the streets anyway. And if he dies in the line of duty, well, then he's celebrated as a fallen hero. He's the goodest of boys. And if there is any doubt that these dogs are in danger, just watch the show. Situations get perilous. In the movie alone, they're doing rescues at the top of collapsing buildings. A building, we're told, is the tallest one in the world. And in the show, sure, some episodes are like, hey, we just saved a frog, or hey, we brought your school lunch back to you in time. But sometimes you have stakes where dogs are hanging on by their teeth from out of control hot air balloons. So how does any of this benefit Ryder? Well, financially, the cost must be far less than employing several police officers, builders, and lifeguards. The dogs are
Hey,
given
Percy.
their
Jesus.
at the end of each mission. Meanwhile, Ryder gets
No, you scared me.
no wonder he always
I
reminds
think I might ditch you.
I was gonna end this soon anyway.
Of course they'll accept any job.
Okay, so,
Say no.
bye.
Ryder attributes
See
all
ya.
the team's wealth to the merch, but government contracts tend to pay even better. This 10-year-old is literally part of the military-industrial complex, and now he's expanding the operation. He's finding dogs in new cities and setting up Paw Patrol outposts around the world.
The Paw Patrol will always look out for Adventure City.
In fact, the Paw Patrol movie shows characters from the TV show actively commenting on the fact that only now is the Paw Patrol becoming more well-known.
And to think, I knew them before they were famous.
It's a billion-dollar business built on the backs of puppies. Pups that are expendable. Pups that are following in the paw prints of other pups that came before them. Ones that died in the line of duty and have been swept away by history. That is the dark secret of the Paw Patrol.
Whenever you need a hand, just yelp for help.
The ones who should really be yelping are the dogs. Yelp, Chase. Yelp, Rubble. In this series, you're the ones who are in the biggest trouble. You just don't realize it. You know, I might not end up talking to Ollie about this theory, at least for a while. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Okay then. Wait. I don't get it. Oh, hold on. Hold on, guys.
$45,927.34.
Hold on, guys. Anybody that's watching, just hold on. I know there's probably nobody here, but I'm still gonna. Well, I'm not really gonna talk very much, but I'm gonna like keep a video going or whatever until I get to when I want to end this. Which I'm gonna end it soon, so yeah. Ooh, I got chills.
First time in forever, we're doing a theory on Frozen.
Wait, what kind of film theory is that?
Hoping you can tell me what state Springfield is in. Played it quickly.
Oh boy. Intros.
Simpsons lives truly the cultural
Oh wait, hold on.
Simpsons. Their time with 90s. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that proves you can turn watching Netflix reruns into a job. And while reruns are the only way to enjoy most of our favorite shows from the 90s, unless, someone's eager for a quick cash grab based on brand awareness, there's one show that has hung on. The Simpsons came out in a simpler time, a time when cell phones were the size of bricks and the word fleek hadn't earned itself a place in the dictionary. Speaking of the dictionary, though, Homer's catchphrase of dough was actually added a few years ago, and it's where the common usage of the word meh comes from. Crazy, right? From the Quickie Mart to the prototype of internet trolls, The Simpsons is truly a cultural icon. And yet, after nearly 3 decades, one huge mystery about the series remains unanswered. Where do the Simpsons live? We all know they live in Springfield, that part's obvious, but the state has always been a question. And this isn't by accident. The show has taunted viewers for years by giving information that would make it virtually impossible for anyone to determine exactly where Springfield is. Notice, though, that I said virtually impossible, because after sifting through the evidence, there is more than enough proof to deduce where the Simpsons actually reside. Today, we're closing the books on one of Primetime's longest running riddles. Now, hold on to your comment hand, all you walking Simpsons encyclopedias. I'm sure you're just waiting to point out that there are tons of jokes and references in The Simpsons that contradict each other. What about that time in The Simpsons movie, for instance, when Flanders says that the 4 states that border Springfield are Ohio, Nevada, Maine, and Kentucky? No such state does or ever could exist. Well, stupid sexy Flanders, that's a fair point. But here's the thing. The running jokes about where Springfield is are mostly there to throw off would-be theorists. So if we want to determine where Springfield really is, we need to look for evidence that's given when the show isn't joking about the impossibility of its location. Preference also goes to episodes that are older, both because they're less likely to present Springfield as a place that couldn't exist, and because many diehard Simpsons fans consider episodes after season 9 to be non-canonical because the show changed executive producers. Got all that? Good, because we have a mystery to solve. Since The Simpsons takes so much pride in never revealing its big mystery, our best tactic to prove where Springfield is to work backwards and eliminate where it isn't. 50 states is a lot to cover, so let's knock out a bunch right off the bat. In season 5, Mark Calling contest, Springfield local radio station gets to choose a grand prize of $10,000 for an elephant. Bart picks the elephant, say that it is indeed a permanent fixture in Springfield and not just some one-off joke a random writer came up with. Why does this matter? Well, in the early 1920s, the Federal Communications Commission established a system for radio station call letters. All states east of the Mississippi River would have call letters that started with W, like NBC's New York radio station WNYC, and stations west of the mighty Mississippi would start with the letter K. Springfield KBBL thus could not be in any of the 26 states that are completely east of the Mississippi River. Minnesota and Louisiana are the exceptions, with stations that start with both K and W, so they'll stay now. But still, there goes half the country in one fell swoop. How has no one figured this out yet? Seriously, people, do your research. Then again, maybe I've spoken too soon, because from here it gets a lot trickier. We get some good geographical clues from the season 7 episode Bart on the Road. Bart manages to get a fake ID, rent a car for spring break, and ends up getting himself and his friends stranded in Knoxville, Tennessee. On the road from Springfield to Knoxville, the group drives through Branson, Missouri, stopping to listen to the smooth crooning of Williams. If you're wondering who Andy Williams is, don't worry. People watching that episode at the time it was aired probably didn't know who Andy Williams was. Such a random old reference. Anyway, let's take a look at the map. Branson is in the southwest corner of Missouri, and Knoxville is in eastern Tennessee. Bart would have had to take a pretty major detour to get to Branson if their point of origin was in Louisiana, Arkansas, or Texas, so we can eliminate all of those. And unless the rental car is one of those duck boats that goes from water to land, they ain't driving to Tennessee from Hawaii. No big surprise, Hawaii's off the table. In the same episode, we see a map of all the nuclear reactors in the United States above Homer's workstation. When the camera zooms in, we can see California, Nevada, and Utah completely, and none of their reactors are labeled Springfield. Another 3 states fight the dust. Now we need to think about the topography of Springfield. We know that Springfield has mountains from episodes like Mountain of Madness, Mr. Plow, and King of the Hill. Not to be confused with this one. Damn it, Bobby! Sorry, I swear my New Year's resolution is to stop doing impressions. In the Simpsons episode King of the Hill, Homer gets in shape and is hired by a protein bar company to climb the Murder Horn, the tallest mountain in Springfield. In one scene, we see Homer sucking on oxygen tanks, which his guides packed to prevent altitude sickness. According to WebMD, altitude sickness is extremely rare below 8,000 feet above sea level. Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma all have highest points that are shorter than that 8,000 foot mark. 2.4 kilometer mark. So they're all out. That means we're down to our final 9. Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. This isn't a surprise, but it's definitely not Alaska. In the Simpsons movie, the entire family uproots from Springfield and moves to Alaska. We even see them entering the state for the first time, so Alaska is out. We've got a couple of clues that help us eliminate some southwestern states as well. In the season 5 episode, Boy Scouts in the Hood, clearly I live the thug life myself, Bart and his junior camper troop get lost when they go whitewater rafting. Homer tries to navigate using a map of Krusty Burger locations and says the following.
Hey, there's a New Mexico.
And in the process, knocks the state out of the running. Now let's jump ahead 2 seasons to season 7's King Size Homer. In it, Homer gets to his desk at 8:58 in the morning, remarking that it's the first time he's ever been early for work, quote,
Except for all those daylight savings days.
This eliminates Arizona because it's the only state in the lower 48 that doesn't observe daylight savings time. Geez, Arizona, way to be different. At least it's simpler than Australia's daylight savings time system. I mean, seriously, did you know about this? They have half-hour time zones, and the continent is divided in 2.
Aww. Sorry, guys. Commercial.
How does this make any sense? Anyway, another big geographic clue is Springfield's proximity to water. Besides the fact that one of Springfield's odd residents is a grizzled old sea captain, we see in numerous episodes that Springfield is near the ocean. Homer and Marge take a romantic walk on the beach in And Maggie Makes 3 from season 6. Bart and Lisa track down Krusty the Clown disguised as a longshoreman in Bart the Fink, and Marge and Homer reunite and declare themselves soulmates at a lighthouse in El Viejo Misterioso de Nuestro Homer. Yeah, that's an episode that appeared in season 8. While we don't have a solid indication that Springfield is a beach town necessarily, it's safe to say that it must be a short distance from the coast. As a result, all remaining landlocked states are out. Sayonara to Idaho, Montana, Colorado, and Wyoming. And that, my friends, leaves us with 2, Washington State and Oregon. These 2 states are really similar. Their geography, climate, topography, and demographics are pretty close to identical, but there's an incredibly minor detail that helps us eliminate Springfield from one of them. And it's so small that I can guarantee that even the most hardcore of Simpsons aficionados might have missed it. Which one is it? Place your bets in the comments now, and then let me know if you won. Ready? In the season 7 episode, Much Ado About Nothing, a bear wanders into Springfield, leading an angry mob to demand protection from the bears. Mayor Quimby establishes a bear patrol, and when Homer next opens his paycheck, he's outraged to see a $5 tax for this new government service. But if we zoom in on that paycheck, on the left side, 3 rows down, the paycheck indicates that $10.45 were withheld by state tax. Why does this matter? Because there are 9 states in the U.S. with no state-level income tax. Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming, and last but not least, Washington State. Ay caramba, we have ourselves a winner. The Simpsons' hometown is Springfield, Oregon. Now, admittedly, no single small town could have every single feature that the Simpsons have ascribed to the fictional Springfield over the years, but geographically and based on clues hidden throughout the series, Oregon is indeed the best fit, with a little bit of everything. Coastline, forests, deserts, tall mountains, and gorges. Oh man, I'm starting to feel like the Oregon Board of Tourism. Oregon, more than just a trail. If you're still having a cow over the results, there's one more piece of evidence to consider, and it comes from the creator of the series himself, Matt Groening. Some diehard Simpsons fans might remember that before The Simpsons was its own show, it was a series of short cartoons on the Tracy Ullman Show. Matt Groening was a cartoonist whose most popular cartoon at the time, Life in Hell, had caught the attention of the makers of that show, who then asked him to pitch cartoons for the series. Groening wanted to make sure that he would retain all ownership over Life in Hell, so he pitched a cartoon to the Tracy Ullman Show on the fly. As he improved his way through this pitch, he named the patriarch after his own father, Homer, and he said that the family would live on Evergreen Terrace, the same street that he grew up on as a child. Want to guess where Matt Groening is from? Yep, Portland, Oregon. In an interview with Smithsonian Magazine, Groening said that he initially wanted to name each character after a street from Portland, and for a while he succeeded, turning Portland's Flanders Street, Lovejoy Street, and Quimby Street into recurring characters on the series. And the real-life Springfield, Oregon is just a short trip south on Interstate 5 from Portland. Even though The Simpsons Springfield is meant to be an anonymous all-American city, it's been set in Oregon from the very first pitch. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. So that's pretty awesome. But admittedly, I'm not the first Simpsons theorist out there. In fact, did you know that a lot of the Simpsons writing team have advanced degrees in math and physics? It's true. One author, Simon Singh, actually tracked all the mathematical references in the show to uncover the surprising truth that The Simpsons slowly introduces number theory into the minds of its viewers. No joke. And if you're interested, it's worth mentioning that the book is available to download on audible.com. Audible has been a regular sponsor for us, this video included, and for good reason. It's a...
Who'd you piss off this time?
Another admiral.
You have 3 weeks to teach them.
I don't want to grow up fine. Toys for
Oh jeez, why does it have to start like that?
Years of business, Toys R Us announced yesterday it's closing its doors in America.
Looks like everyone has to grow up sometime. Eh, Peter?
Oh dang.
That's Peter Pan's Never Never Land, not the creep. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the Never Never Land of the Internet. That's
Here's
Peter
another
Pan's
film theory,
Never Never
guys.
Land, not the creepy Michael Jackson Neverland. If you haven't guessed it yet, today we're exploring the world of Disney's favorite narcissistic tween heartthrob, Peter Pan. As you're probably aware, because I say this literally every Disney episode, growing up, I loved all the Disney movies, except for Pinocchio. But who didn't want to be Peter Pan? He had the ladies fighting over him constantly, which is kind of inexplicable when you think about what a creeper he actually is in his own movie. Ooh, here's a mystery boy who sneaks into my bedroom at night, talks only about himself.
Give you a piece of ass.
Everyone wants to be able to stay a kid forever and play video games and avoid the IRS because taxes suck. But you can't be Peter Pan and stay young forever unless you figure out where Neverland is. And also grab some fairy dust and fly there and defeat some pirates. But one thing at a time, people. The geography is clearly the hardest part until today. That's right. The mission for today is to find the geographic location of Neverland. Sounds absurd, right? But we're actually given plenty of hints throughout the movie and books. Second star to the right, straight on till morning and all that jazz. Even J.M. Barrie's original book describes Peter and the Darling children flying over the ocean to get to Neverland, but he just never specifically says where they choose to land. In the original versions, there's no mention of a star at all. He just says second to the right and then straight on till morning. But I'm not talking hints. I am telling you today that I have definitively located Neverland, to the point that you can actually book your next vacation there and partake in all the swashbuckling and Native American themed racism you want. So sprinkle yourselves with theory dust and think happy thoughts. Next stop is Neverland. To start, we need to remember that Wendy, John, and Michael Darling live in London. When Peter tells them that Neverland is the
Second star to the right and straight on till morning.
it seems really vague, but actually the scene gives us plenty of clues to determine which direction they're headed. First, I compared this frame of the movie to constellations that could reasonably appear in the London night sky. While we don't get anything too conclusive, we can actually speculate that these stars here might be Mizar and Elcor, which are in similar positions to what we see in the movie, though in real life they should appear to be part of the Big Dipper constellation. Anyway, there's no need to get out your astrolabes just yet, because the good news is we actually don't need the exact stars that they're looking at. We can tell which direction the kids are facing just from the landmarks around them. After flying out of the nursery, the kids and Peter land on one of the sides of the Elizabeth Tower clock. The east side, to be specific. Now, I already hear you, but actually, people cracking your knuckles, preparing for a wave of comments saying, but actually, that's not Elizabeth Tower, that's Big Ben. But fun fact, Big Ben is the nickname of the bell inside of the Elizabeth Tower. So feel free to annoy all your friends with your pedantic knowledge of London landmarks. Anyway, how can we tell that they're facing east? Well, look at the shot of Peter and the Darlings flying up to the clock. In the bottom right, we can see a statue of a horse rearing up, and that is in fact the statue known as the Boudiccan Rebellion statue, which commemorates an ancient Celtic queen who drove the Romans out of London. Yes, queen! That statue is located to the northeast of the tower, so they're landing on the east side. Going to the right would be them flying south. But we get an even more specific idea of the direction by tracking their flight. They fly over Westminster Bridge facing east, then they make a sharp turn over the bridge, so sharp that the camera has to rotate to follow Peter to head southwest. And that's the direction the camera follows them until they get to Neverland. TLDR, they're going south and west of London, which indicates that they're making a transatlantic flight towards the Americas. So now that we know they're headed to North or South America, we can look at a few other factors to help us narrow down the search for Neverland. Judging by the map that we see of Neverland, we're looking at an island that's fairly small and features a number of inlets and lagoons. Typically, there are two types of lagoons in the Americas. Coastal lagoons, which are connected to the coastline of a much larger landmass, and atoll lagoons, which are more isolated and formed by coral reefs. By the looks of it, there are no major land masses in the waters around Neverland, so we can conclude that Neverland is an atoll. Now, atolls require coral reefs and tropical waters, so that narrows our search a lot, from the southern tip of Florida, throughout the Caribbean, and down through the coast of Brazil. But geography is just the beginning. We also know a lot about what's on that island, notably crocodiles. Assuming this crocodile didn't escape from the zoo or from Suicide Squad, though who can blame him for wanting to escape that movie, we can pinpoint Neverland's location if we know the species of crocodile. There are only two species of crocodile indigenous to the waters around Latin America, Morlet's crocodile and the American crocodile. But both can take your hand off pretty darn well. Morlet's crocodile is a lot smaller than the American crocodile, at about 10 feet to 16 feet. Considering the fact that Captain Hook fit entirely inside this crocodile's mouth, we're much more likely to be looking at the American crocodile. Additionally, Morlet's crocodile is only found in freshwater environments, while the American crocodile is most often found in saltwater, like you'd find off the coast of an atoll. The only downside here is that the American crocodile is pretty widespread as far as man-eating reptiles go. So we're looking at pretty much the entire Caribbean in our hunt for Neverland. There are also a few other animals that I thought might narrow things down a bit more. J.M. Barrie says that there are sea turtles and flamingos in Neverland, but those are also found all around the Caribbean. The seagull that we see Smee shave doesn't narrow it down. The mermaids, for these I even looked at the habitats of manatees, which, believe it or not, are historically the animal most commonly associated with mermaid sightings, and that still didn't narrow things down. So at that point, I ran out of animals and wasn't sure if I was looking at a dead end here. But it turns out that the last part of the theory doesn't hinge on the animals in Neverland. It hinges on the people. According to the source material for Peter Pan, Captain Hook was originally a bosun for Blackbeard the pirate. Now, Blackbeard was very busy pirating all over the east coast of America and the Caribbean from 1716 to 1718, which, when you stop and think about it, for carrying the title of the most famous non-fictional pirate in history, is actually not that long of a time spent pillaging and searching for booty. But what Blackbeard lacked in longevity, he made up for in volume. Blackbeard had a ton of instances over that 2-year period stealing wine, burning ships, and blockading ports. So where does Captain Hook fit into all this? Well, in the spring of 1718, Blackbeard captured a few ships in the Gulf of Honduras, right off the Yucatan Peninsula, and added those to his fleet. Specifically, he was off the coast of the Turneffe Atoll, just east of Belize, which, wouldn't you know it, just happens to be a little tropical atoll with lagoons, crocodiles, flamingos, sea turtles, the whole shebang. As a bosun in Blackbeard's fleet, there's actually historical precedent that Captain Hook would have actually graduated up to the role of captain on one of those commandeered ships in the Turneffe Atoll. In the Peter Pan story, it's specifically the Jolly Roger. And then from there, he drops anchor in Neverland and then gives up his life of pillaging in exchange for sword-fighting little boys and then outrunning a single crocodile. Probably would have been better off if he just stayed a bosun. There is, though, one kind of glaring hole in this that we can't really ignore. If we're going the history route, wouldn't we also have to ignore the timelines? I mean, Blackbeard died in 1718, but the Darling family is clearly from the early 1900s. And we even see things in the movie like the statue of Boudica, which wasn't installed until 1902. Well, it turns out we don't have to ignore the timeline. Even that works out under this theory. We know that once you land in Neverland, you never grow old, right? That's kind of the whole shtick of this place. Well, it turns out that Neverland, aka the Turneffe Atoll, is the exact historical region believed to contain the Fountain of Youth, the one geographic feature in the entire world that would actually behave and function like a real-life Neverland. The stories you hear about the Fountain of Youth in history class talk a lot about Ponce de Leon, who mostly looked for it around Florida. The older and much more accurate historical hunt for it was actually performed by Juan de Solis, an earlier Spanish explorer than old Ponce, who spent all of his time looking for the Fountain of Youth in the Gulf of Honduras. Due mostly to really bad Spanish historical record keeping, Ponce de Leon was actually 1,000 miles off the mark of the area that he was looking for, leaving the Fountain of Youth squarely off the coast of Honduras and in exactly the location we predict for Neverland. So there you have it, everyone. Book your spring break for the Turneffe Atoll now, because it's the real location for everlasting childhood. Talk about your once-in-a-lifetime vacation. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Birdie's believes in making
Wait a minute.
Wondering why I'm dressed like a burglar? It's because I'm here to steal your childhood. Now, I don't make review, reaction, commentary style content, really, but after the emotional rollercoaster, Ridgewell. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed like a burglar, it's because I'm here to steal your childhood. Now, I don't make review, reaction, commentary style content, really, but after the emotional roller coaster I've been through, I felt like it was somewhat of a moral obligation to shine some light on this franchise, because it's a lot. I've been through a lot. I like to think that I had quite a conventional relationship with Thomas the Tank Engine growing up. I watched it when I was younger, and then when I wasn't younger, I didn't really watch it. That was it. I walked away with plenty of fond memories, playing with the toys, imagining life riding those silly little trains. I also walked away with some not great memories, mostly the fact that eventually children made the connection between my name of Thomas and the Tank Engine's name of Thomas.
He's a cheeky little engine.
They called me Thomas the Tank Engine. They weren't very imaginative, but I stopped going by Thomas for about 20 years. It's fine. I love children, just like Trevor.
Oh, yes, I like children.
This is in my brain now. It is Everything I talk about, I will refer back to Thomas the Tank Engine with. However, there's been an even deeper grudge, trauma even, that I have held with this show for near enough the entirety of my life, until a couple of weeks ago, and that is what they did to poor old Henry. You took a train that was afraid of a little bit of rain. He went into a tunnel and never came out again. I really butchered that line. I wasn't going to go into it intending on doing the rhyme, but it just kind of happened. But then they bricked him up. He goes into a tunnel. He doesn't want to come out. And instead of just going, "You're a dickhead, we'll leave you alone for a little bit until you grow up," they remove the tracks and they brick him into the tunnel. He just rots there. Other trains whip by. They say poop poop at him.
I'm going to poop poop at Henry.
They do say poop poop. I've read the books. And that's it. He just dies in there.
I think he deserved his punishment. Don't you?
No, I don't think he deserved it. What the fuck? That's not okay. That's how I've remembered that for, again, nearly 30 years, until a couple of weeks ago, when someone on my Discord server by the name of Lockie explained that, no, they just let him out in the next episode. I didn't know that. I have gone near enough my entire life thinking that he's just in there in real time, because he's real, running away, having a horrible time. I didn't know he got out.
Oh, I am stiff, he groaned.
But while it was nice to get that closure, it left me wondering, what else didn't I know? What else did I misremember? How deep did this rabbit hole / train tunnel, very good, go? Are the trains slaves? Do they die? Does the entire universe exist inside of a pocket dimension? The answer is yes to all of those things. In the past couple of days, I've read 26 books, watched multiple seasons, a handful of films, and I am burdened with so much knowledge that I would very much like to unload upon you. I must be free of it, you see. So let's dive down the rabbit hole of Thomas the Tank Engine and see what comes out the other side. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a bricked up tunnel.
Commercials. Boring. Oh, brother.
It started in 1945 as the Railway series, a collection of Obey Your Parents style storybooks by the Reverend W. Awdry.
I like trains.
In 1984, it was adapted into Thomas and Friends by Britt Allcroft. This is the TV series that I think a lot of us will associate with Thomas the Tank Engine, where it's the actual physical models. They ran like this for about 12 seasons or so before it finally became a CGI product. I believe within the fandom, these are kind of regarded as three separate canons, as it were. You've got the books, you've got the semi-live action series, and then you've got the CG later stuff. I'm looking at all of them. Help me. So one of the first questions I wanted / needed to answer on this journey was, what's up with the sentients? How alive are they? Why are they alive? How are they born? What is alive? And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't get many straight answers. It only ever seems to be in the books that the idea of the trains being born is even really acknowledged. They're built. We do know that much. I don't know when the face shows up, when they gain that sentience. In the 2000 movie, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, we see a train's face appear as she travels through some magical interdimensional portal to the island of Sodor.
So, Bernard, you didn't forget about magic. It's safe inside you.
You know what? We'll get back to Thomas and the Magic Railroad. That's better. But ultimately, it's not really clear when the face shows up. It just kind of does. I think it might be based somewhat on intention. It's like, we love this thing, so now it has a face.
How am I alive?
I don't know. But why don't all the trains have faces? In season 3, episode 4, Gordon and the famous visitor, the city of Truro, a real-life train, shows up to the island and distinctly does not have a face. It's just not there. We are told it has a lovely chat with the other trains.
He enjoyed talking to the other engines till long after the stars came out.
So apparently it can communicate, but it just doesn't have a face. Why doesn't it have a face? Is it dead? Are they just telepathic? Is the face simply there for our entertainment? I don't know.
How?
Furthermore, plenty of things have faces in this universe. You've got buses, you've got cars, you've got boats, you've got helicopters, you've got cranes. But then again, all of those things sometimes don't have faces. In fact, there's only, I think, 3 boats in the entire franchise that have faces. A vast majority, just regular boats. Why don't they all get faces? And maybe you're just thinking, okay, vehicles. Some vehicles talk, some vehicles don't talk. There's a tumbleweed that talks.
Follow me, partner. Woo! Right this way to Flufferville. Just a walk in the park.
He doesn't have a face or anything. Why can the tumbleweed talk? Why? So I never really got much of a conclusive answer on how and why these things are alive. One thing that became abundantly clear is that they are fully aware that they are alive, specifically that they're aware of their mortality, and they are terrified of death. They are scared and in danger all the time. Bruh. Now, don't get me wrong, these trains are not easy to kill. It is surprisingly hard to kill them. I've learned many ways in which they don't die. In Book 20, we learn that Renius and Skarloey are over 100 years old, and I assume they've only gotten older as time's gone on, so clearly old age, at least in human years, not something that kills them.
Nobody kill me!
In the 2015 Origin movie, The Adventure Begins, we learn that disuse and disrepair is not something that kills them. Glyn, the original #1 train that Thomas so rudely usurps, has been sat on a siding for some 50-odd years, just getting overgrown with leaves and foliage, and just seems surprisingly chipper about it.
I him is Glenn. Nobody asked.
In season 5, episode 26, Snow, we find that they are somewhat impervious to freezing to death, as Skarloey has an entire avalanche fall on him, and he somehow creates an igloo around himself from, I guess, the heat of his boiler.
No one knew that the heat from Skarloey's engine had helped to make an igloo.
That's not how things usually work. Hell, in season 3, episode 16, we watch a brake van get completely crushed to bits.
Good.
And they just take his face away, and he's alive. His face is alive. I think it's all about the face. I think the face is the bit that's alive. I mean, there is a distinctly rusted over, seemingly dead train that Thomas finds in the Nevada desert that he's somehow in the 2018 movie Big World, Big Adventure, but his face at least isn't there. So maybe someone took the face. Maybe he's fine. He's probably not fine. In season 4, episode 1 and 2, we learn the story of Duke, who is left abandoned in a shed which gets completely covered by a landslide, and he is forgotten about for decades. You know what he does to pass the time? Just goes to sleep.
Oh well, he sighed. I'll go to sleep. It'll help pass the time.
Doesn't even seem to notice or care, but they eventually just find him, clean him up, no hard feelings. The thing that really stresses me out about Duke surviving being buried under a landslide for over 20 years is that over 20 years ago, I buried all of my Thomas and Friends toys on a beach in Fuerteventura and then forgot about them, and then we had to go home and I left them there. Now, the next year, we went back on holiday, and my dad said, "Hey, Tom, you should bury in the beach right here." And lo and behold, I found all of my Thomas the Tank Engine toys, except, let's be honest, they probably weren't the same ones, which means that the same ones are still down there, buried, and waiting for me to find them.
He's still covered in sand, though.
Now, at this point, you might just be thinking, I guess death just doesn't exist in this universe, but oh, it very much does. You know the Fat Controller?
7-Eleven.
Done commercials.
Bags, paper towel.
He's dead. In the book The Island of Sodor, Its People, History, and Railways, we learn that we are actually on Sir Topham Hatt III. 2 Fat Controllers have died. They just don't bring it up. They just replace him. Like when a child's pet goldfish dies and the parent just flushes it and replaces it with another one. Kid doesn't notice because it looks the same. Same principle.
Wait, that says 111. How many of these guys have there been?
There's one way in the series that it is acknowledged that a train can die of somewhat natural causes, and it's quite upsetting. I won't lie to you. They can suffocate. They can drown. The mouths that they have on those faces, I have to assume they take in oxygen, because not only in the 2012 movie Blue Mountain Mystery does Luke think he's killed Victor after he pushes him off a boat into the sea, he thinks he killed him.
I knocked the yellow engine into the sea.
In season 5, episode 24, Duncan Gets Spooked, we learn the story of a narrow gauge engine that falls off a viaduct and drowns. We see him plummet into the water, and they say he was a lost cause, and they left him there, and no one ever saw him again. He is dead.
He was never found again.
Great news. The trains can drown.
Engines don't swim, Henry. You were meant to deliver fish, not swim with them.
I'm so high. Trains are left in Fuerteventura. What if they drowned? They can do that now. Well, he's dead. However, there is one more, far more common way in which these trains meet their demise, and it is violently thrown in front of their faces near enough every day, and it is by getting scrapped.
Scrap, said Edward quietly. Douglas gasped. Don't mention that word. It makes my wheels wobble.
This is a mortifying and incredibly real threat that is made throughout every book, throughout every movie, throughout the whole series.
They're going to break me up next week.
Oh God, it is so much. So first of all, on the island of Sodor are multiple scrapyards and the smelter's yard, all of which are filled with dozens of dead trains. Straight up rusted train carcasses. Some of them are missing the little face slot, but some of them just have rusted over bits where I think the face is supposed to be, and these are just unmistakably dead trains. They are littered all over the place. I mean, generally, there are bits of trains scattered around the entire series, mostly things like wheels, which would just be like walking down the street, and there's just some legs and arms just splattered around. But again, in this universe, they get bits replaced a lot. But, you know, ship of Theseus, at what point is it not the same train? At what point do you accept that the train is dead? I think it's when you're confronted with scenes like this. As an aside, speaking of ripping off and replacing limbs, in Book 19, Chapter 4, we learn the story of Godred, a little engine that falls down a mountain due to his own negligence, and they just decide, you know what, we're not going to fix you because you're a piece of shit. And they drag him in to the back of the shed, and they just rip his parts off as they see fit to replace them on other trains until, and I quote, there was nothing left of him. To be fair, it is confirmed as just being a scary story in universe, but given the rest of the things that I've talked about and I'm going to talk about, I'd say it's a distinct possibility that this is just something that happens semi-regularly. Now, going back to the whole scrapping and smelting thing, in the 2009 movie Hero of the Rails, we meet Hero, who is the oldest engine on the island. He was the first, I believe, to arrive, and he is currently living in the woods in abject terror of being sent to the scrap and smelting yards. He says that,
I know what happens to old engines that cannot be really useful.
A phrase we will come back to quite soon.
They're scrapped and sent to the smelter's yard.
And again, first train on the island, he's seen some shit. He knows so very well how much of a real threat this is. Thomas, however, seems very surprised, but he's young, dumb, and full of steam. In season 3, episode 21, Escape, we meet Oliver, who is hiding from his fate of being scrapped in a scrapyard, I think. Not the best place for it. And he has the word scrap just painted all over him, like some weird degradation kink.
Rail me, Daddy.
But
Oh my God.
he knows he's gonna die.
Ignore that, guys. That was a bad joke.
From scrap, we meet Trevor, who says, I am scheduled to be broken up next week. He has an execution date. He's gonna die. They're gonna rip him apart. It's not okay. And in season 2, episode 17, The Deputation, Percy begs the Fat Controller as hard as he can to let both the Scottish trains, Donald and Douglas, stay on the island of Sodor, Scottish being an accent that Ringo Starr does his very best with.
Do not vex yourself, Henry.
Because he knows that whichever one of them gets sent back home will be scrapped. They will die.
But if you send them away, sir, they'll be turned into scrap, sir. That would be dreadful, sir.
One of the reasons we know this is because of the whole genocide thing. So here's a fun thing. You know how in regular life you don't really see steam trains anymore? Well, that's true in the Thomas and Friends universe as well. The island of Sodor is just something of a safe haven for steam trains because everywhere else in the world, they're fucking dead. They've been killed.
Just
Oh, jeez.
So here's the thing to know. The Reverend Audrey really didn't like diesel engines, and he makes this explicitly clear in his works. In season 2, episode 12, Duck and the Diesel Engine, a diesel engine arrives at the island and is just a smug asshole.
We diesels don't need to learn. We know everything.
Hell, in book 23, Enterprising Engines, 2 diesels straight up declare that they are going to take over the railway. And in season 3, episode 20, Tender Engines, Diesel just straight up tells Gordon,
I'm afraid that no amount of tenders will save you in the end. We diesels are taking over and we don't need tenders to make us important.
And in the show, the Fat Controller says,
Don't worry, Gordon, that will never happen on my railway.
The source material, however, a little more blunt. He says, yep, he's telling the truth. They're all fucking dead. All of my brothers? Yes, they're all dead. Have a nice day, Gordon. In the 2000 movie, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which we will get back to, I promise, Diesel 10 just straight up says that he is here to finish his genocidal quest to wipe out all the remaining steam engines.
I've come back to find a steam engine.
Oh, it's easy. They're everywhere.
It's not the one I want. She escaped me once before. As long as she exists, so do the others. But if she can be destroyed...
Destroyed? Did you say destroyed?
They're doing this. This is a coordinated effort to just purge the lands of the last remaining steam trains. It's pretty dark. So why is it the island of Sodor is this safe haven, this sanctuary for steam engines? Why are they allowed to keep on existing here? And the answer is they're allowed to keep on existing by the skin of their teeth. Teeth which they do have, by the way. They are constantly under threat of being scrapped and replaced unless they are, quote unquote, really useful. In the books, the term really useful is capitalized. It is a designation, an almost cult-like branding. Because the truth is, this isn't exactly a hot take. The trains are kind of slaves. Trevor refers to his previous owner as his master.
My master would send us from farm to farm.
It's not great. I don't love it. Feels a bit off.
You are a very disobedient engine.
But basically what really useful means in this universe is that you have value, that you are of worth to this ecosystem, and you can be used. You are of use. And trains are constantly having to prove that they are useful, to fight for it. They are constantly talking about and worrying that they are not really useful anymore. Sounds like pretty regular capitalism, to be honest.
No, Mr. Fat Controller. I'll be really useful.
But don't worry, because it's not just the fear of no longer being really useful and therefore getting sent to the scrapyard that keeps the trains in line. There's also just a wide array of baffling and inhumane threats and punishments that all the characters in this universe are constantly subject to. In season 4, episode 1, Grand Puff, we learn the story of Smudger, a veritable little scamp of a train who sometimes falls off the rails and doesn't like to do what he's told. So they rip off his fucking wheels, brick him into a shed, and turn him into a generator. And like Henry, he just has to watch people go about their lives. But unlike Henry, he's not let out. That's just his life now.
He's still there behind our shed. He'll never move again.
Jesus, Reverend. In season 4, episode 23, we meet Scruffy the truck, who gets ripped apart, and not to victim blame, but he kind of deserved it. In the show, he gets put back together and made anew and doesn't complain or misbehave anymore, but in the books, it's quite heavily implied that they just let him die. They just let him die. In book 40, chapter 2, Sir Handel's plan, a train tries to chuck a bit of a sickie, as it were, take a few days off work. We've all done it. He does this by breaking a piece of himself off, and while they're waiting for the replacement piece to come in, they shove him to the back of a shed and let him sit there thinking that he is going to be replaced, that he is going to be scrapped. And when someone walks up to tell him that they've finally got the replacement pieces in, he begs for his life before they can say as much. He pleads, he says he'll be really useful, he'll be good, he won't do it again. And instead of saying, whoa, 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 Sir Handel, it's fine. It's fine. We were just waiting for your piece to come in. They go, all right then, I guess we'll let you live. Like the sick fucks they are. God damn it. In season 5, episode 16, Thomas Percy and the old slow coach, we meet Slow Coach, who is an old coach that is no longer deemed really useful. And the only reason she hasn't been scrapped yet, by the way, all the carriages of women for some reason, is because they just haven't had time to get around to ripping her apart.
She'll be broken up when we find the time.
Horrible. And she finally becomes useful again when a building conveniently burns down and she becomes accommodation for some laborers. I think it's safe to assume that when she's not useful anymore, they're just going to scrap her. In season 3, episode 23, Bulgy, we meet Bulgy Wulgy Uwu, the boss, who is admittedly a bit of an asshole.
Yaboo Snubs! He jeered as he rolled away.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Yaboo Snubs!
No, I didn't quite get that.
Yaboo Snubs!
Yaboo Snubs. All right. Now, he desperately wants to prove that he is more useful than even the trains, and in doing so, he gets himself stuck under a bridge. So, what do? Do they repair him? Do they thank him for his efforts to exceed at his job? No, they turn him into a fucking hen house. They leave him on the side of the road and fill him with cloaca-ridden chickens.
He's a hen house now, and his lives can do no harm.
And then there's Bulstrode, the boat, pretty much the only boat, I might remind you, that even has a face. And what happens to him? Well, Percy just pushes a run of trucks onto him, of which both Bulstrode and the trucks get the blame, even though it's most definitely Percy's fault, the piece of shit. And how do they thank or apologize to Bulstrode for this? They beach him and say,
"Now you can just stay here. Children can play in you all day, and at long last you'll be useful."
What the fuck, man? Speaking of trucks, we need to talk about troublesome trucks for a second. These guys are the singing, giggling, mischievous minions of the Thomas and Friends universe that absolutely litter this nightmare island, and they are not okay.
Cooks are waiting in the yard, backing them with diesel. Show the world what I can do. Gaily boats the diesel.
They love to push around other trains. They actively work to derail trains. They literally don't appear to care if they die in the process, and maybe even find it appealing. At the very least, they find it hilarious.
Laughed and laughed.
They laugh at Bulstrode almost drowning, which again was Percy's fault, but still, dick move. And sometimes they just straight up kill themselves for fun. I got nothing. I don't know what they're about. All right. I said I would get back to Thomas and the Magic Railroad later, and I've run out of other things to talk about. So we're going to have to talk about This is a 2000 movie written and directed by Britt Allcroft, who we have to thank for adapting the book series into the television series. My understanding is that a lot of the fandom and even the people in control of the franchise now consider this movie thoroughly non-canonical, and I can kind of see why. It makes a few statements and implications that change things. Number one, the island of Sodor, and in fact, Thomas the Tank Engine's entire reality exists in a pocket dimension, an alternate universe that exists in the same physical but like liminal space as a place called Shining Time, which features Shining Time Station, another series that Britt Allcroft made in America, and she's God. So there's this train called Lady who has been badly damaged but repaired and then hidden away in a mountain for her own protection. She doesn't run anymore and has lost all of her magic powers, which means she doesn't have a face, she can't speak, she can't move, but it is implied that she is still fully conscious and crying out for help. In the original version of the script, the original filmed version of the movie, which had to be edited, she is being pursued by an evil man determined to destroy her called P.T. Boomer. P.T. Boomer is a play on P.T. Barnum, the man credited as founding show business, and is therefore a stand-in for, I guess, show business as a whole. And his whole objective is to destroy her, because he knows if he destroys her, then the entirety of the island of Sodor will cease to exist, because again, the train is essentially God. Also, the train is voiced by Britt Allcroft.
And helping each other brings to life the magic in all of us.
She is the train. The train is her. The implication essentially being, if you take her out of the show will die. And spoiler, she has a unique magic to her, and only when she is returned to the island of Sodor does everything get better and prosper. And also, she only got one more season after this movie because it tanked very hard. And did I mention that Thomas and Friends exists in a pocket dimension? When I went into this, I thought I might see some kind of funny, dark implications. I really did not expect to discover that the Thomas and Friends universe exists in a pocket dimension that is fueled by the magic of a self-insert OC by the series director. Life's full of surprises. I want to give a huge thank you to Lockie from my Patreon-only Discord server. He helped me massively with the research for this, pointed me in all the right directions. He also wanted me to make it very clear that he had nothing to do with anything I said and how I framed anything. If you are a Thomas and Friends fan who is livid at me for getting anything wrong, just know it was all me. I did all of this. He had nothing to do with it. But yes, thank you, Lucky. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next video. If you liked this kind of me doing this thing, talking about a thing, let me know. Maybe I'll do more. I thought I might talk about the origin of furries, maybe the Pink Panther movie series. That's kind of weird. Who knows? Let me know. Bye. Hey, you.
It starts with a simple grain of delicious
All right, evil friends, it's 2021. What evil thing should we do today?
We could use a network of hackers to steal the identity of thousands.
We could use an army of bots to spread our propaganda on Twitter.
We could steal billions for ourselves via a combination of underpaying workers, insider trading, and tax evasion.
We could develop a monopoly over everyone's childhood and control all of entertainment.
Man, being evil in 2021 sucks. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, a show that cares about the really important issues, preparing humanity for the minion apocalypse. Right about now, you're probably wondering why I would want to kill the minions. On the surface, these adorable little henchmen who made their first appearance in the 2010 film Despicable Me have taken the world by storm with their cuteness, unique language, and obsession with overalls. Seems like the worst they could do is just annoy parents forced by their kids to watch the antics of these little yellow silos on repeat. Over again. But today's episode isn't just about preserving the sanity of every parent out there watching, though you are welcome for that. No, it's about preventing an extinction level event. Think Mad Max Fury Road, but instead of riding flaming cars, you got a bunch of little yellow Tic Tacs riding around monster banana trucks. For those of you who are light on the lore, the stated purpose of a minion is to help in the creation of evil.
They're all different, but they all share the same goal. To serve the most despicable master they could find.
That's it. That is their driving cause in life, the top of their Maslow hierarchy. Oh, sure, for the majority of their existence, they've been mostly harmless, serving dinosaurs, vampires, the French. But when things go right for them, they quickly become really dangerous. When Bob the Minion becomes the King of England, he changes the country's laws to give the crown to Scarlet Overkill, a woman who wants to rule via a strict dictatorship. To top it all off, in Despicable Me 3, they leave Gru because he's become less despicable, and they head out in search of a more evil employer. And you see, this matters because their numbers are rapidly growing. In a prior Film Theory episode, we learned via an official Facebook post that since teaming up with Gru in 1968, their numbers have expanded from around 230 in Minions to 10,400 by the time Despicable Me 3 rolls around. And sure, all this might not seem like a big deal now that they're working for a guy whose definition of evil is stealing trinkets from the Las Vegas Strip. Once Gru and his family aren't in the picture anymore, these henchmen will be looking for another despicable boss, and it could mean chaos, death, and destruction. extinction, or they'll just end up working for Jeff Bezos. In short, these things are ticking time bombs that are essentially immortal, indestructible, and crave evil, which is why the world needs a plan on how to stop them before they potentially kill billions. So today, as we prep for the eventual, nay, dare I say, the inevitable minion wars, I'm going to investigate these creatures to find their weaknesses so we can exploit them. Now, this at first might seem like it's an easy task, right? Like, how tough could a little yellow Tic Tac be? But when you look across all their movies and all their related media, the answer is that they're practically indestructible. Cold temperatures, for instance, do not affect them. In the first Despicable Me, a minion floats off into space and doesn't freeze to death in a place where temperatures can reach minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit as minus 270 Celsius. That scene also shows us that they don't need oxygen since there's no air in space. Humans, meanwhile, would be dead in about a minute in space. So the fact that it's kicking around there for the better part of a week is mind-boggling. Speaking of biological needs, they don't appear to require all that much food. Yeah, they'll crush bananas and ice cream into their faces occasionally, and very rarely do they show signs of hunger, but judging from the fact that in the movie Minions, we see them survive in an ice cave from the time of the French Revolution in 1789 all the way until the year they meet Gru in 1968, that is 179 years without food, starving them to death isn't going to be a viable option. It's entirely possible that, like other long-living creatures such as tortoises, they can slow down their metabolism to keep themselves alive in adverse conditions or during hibernation. So if metabolic processes don't really offer us a viable solution, what about the good old-fashioned ultra-violence? Nope. These things are impossibly durable. In the competition short on the Minions Blu-ray, 2 minions survive a 25-second fall that's followed by 2 large missiles exploding. After checking out a free fall calculator for a loose calculation, that's about a 1.9-mile fall, or 3 kilometers, followed by them being in point-blank range of a missile explosion. And this isn't an isolated incident either. In Despicable Me, we see an errant rocket being shot into a crowd of minions. Instead of seeing limbs, we see the minions looking slightly scuffed and annoyed. This means the shrapnel that explodes from the rocket doesn't penetrate the minion's skin. All this also tells us is that they're resistant to heat. Temperatures of a nuclear explosion get surprisingly hot, able to reach as high as the interior of the sun, about 100 million degrees Celsius, or 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. In Minions, we see them afraid of a pool of lava, which would, at most, be like 1,250 Celsius, 2,282 Fahrenheit. But the fact that they can ingest anything close to an atomic warhead means that, in reality, they would have nothing to be scared of. Probably just fear of the unknown, right? Like, you could be resistant to lava too, but I don't encourage you to test that out anytime soon.
Our next guest gave us, well, actually very little information, besides the fact that he is impervious to acid.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
In the franchise, they've been bombed, crushed, smashed, and mashed. And they just keep going. And not just going, they enjoy it. Torture makes them laugh.
Wow, harder than I thought. Next machine.
Seriously, in Minions, they're placed in medieval torture devices and they treat it like a playground. Their bodies are stretched, nooses don't seem to work on them, and the guy that's doing the torture is legitimately impressed by their toughness. Also, mass quantities of radiation don't seem to have long-lasting effects on him either. Kevin gets bombarded with mass quantities in Minions, becomes a giant, swallows a large rocket, explodes, and walks away totally fine. So we can't blow him up, drown him, send him into space, or wait for him to die. In true cartoon character fashion, they seem to be completely indestructible. So what do we do? How does humanity fight back against these adorable little yellow marshmallows? Now, this might sound crazy, but I think it all boils down to lobster. Now, follow me on this. In Despicable Me 2, the film's main antagonist, El Macho, manages to kidnap thousands of minions. And what's he do with them? He alters their DNA with a mutagen that turns them into ravaging monsters. This implies that the minions have DNA that we can exploit. And that isn't our only evidence. In the Orientation Day short film, we see that the minion clones all come from a sample of minion DNA. DNA is their weakness, their one and only weakness. So if we attack the DNA, we attack the minion, which then merits the question, how do we attack the DNA? Well, any creature that has a chance of surviving as much torture as the minions do for as long as they do must have good repair enzymes to prevent their DNA from degrading. And that is where the lobsters come in. You see, lobsters and minions actually have a surprising amount in common. Just like a minion, the American lobster can live for over 100 years. Lobsters have an incredible ability to regenerate and are capable of even regrowing claws, they can survive outside of the water for weeks, and when put in cold water, lobsters slow their metabolism so they don't have to eat for months. Both have evolved from the ocean. They've been around for millions of years. Man, maybe we should title this video Minions Are Lobsters. You know what? If this video does end up being called Minions Are Lobsters, you'll know that it was because the word kill was flagged by YouTube. Anyway, one of the reasons various species of lobster can live over 100 years has to do with a special enzyme called telomerase, an enzyme that constantly fixes the bits of the telomere that are lost with each new cell division, which then begs the question of what's a telomere and why is it important? Well, a telomere is the non-coding DNA at the end of a chromosome that protects the important DNA found in the middle. It's kind of like a bumper or buffer for the DNA. A good comparison to this is, you know how shoelaces have that little plastic tip at the end to prevent the shoelace from fraying? Well, that is basically the role of the telomere. Also, fun fact, that tip of the shoelace is called an aglet. Drop that little bit of knowledge on your friend next time you see him. Anyway, each time a cell divides, the telomere gets shorter and shorter, until eventually they become so short that the cell can't divide anymore. So, by inhibiting the telomerase in the minion, we'd be able to make sure that their cells can age and degrade, thus making them older and more susceptible to infections, viruses, and bacteria. In essence, we would be able to make them human and thus kill them. But how do you inhibit telomerase? Well, here's the big twist, friends. It's a step in a part of many cancer treatments. Many cancer treatments try to shut down telomerase because cancer cells contain active telomerase. This is what makes cancer so dangerous. The active telomerase allows the cancer cells to continue dividing uncontrolled, essentially making the cancer immortal. But just like we talked about with the lobsters, without telomerase activity, these cells become inactive. They stop dividing and they eventually die. Now, when it comes to humans, one of the biggest issues with these sorts of cancer treatments is the worry of side effects on the body. Since we're actively trying to bump off the minions, unhealthy side effects just make the job easier. We want to make the minions weaker and disrupt their wound healing and ability to fight infection. So killing off telomerase in the body is exactly what we're looking for. More good news for us minion hunters is that back in 2010, the Harvard Gazette announced that, quote, they achieved the milestone in aging science by engineering mice with a controllable telomerase gene. The researchers bred mice without telomerases, and this led to premature aging. They then reactivated the telomerase, and the work showed a dramatic reversal of the many aspects of aging, including reversal of brain disease and infertility. The fact that scientists are out there engineering animals with telomerase genes that you can flip on and off like a light switch tells us that inhibiting telomerase is possible. In fact, according to Science Daily, scientists as recently as 2018 have made great strides on exactly this, discovering how to shut off telomerase using other enzymes that it tends to work with. This, in turn, opens up a new opportunity to indirectly block telomerase. All of this research and more has resulted in the human telomerase reverse transcriptase-derived vaccine, a very long-winded way of saying we shoot a needle into you and we start shutting the telomerase down. This also would presumably work in the world of Despicable Me. If engineered mutagens like El Macho's PX41 can alter the genetics of any living creature, then a vaccine or injection can most certainly inhibit the telomerase of our immortal little minions. Speaking of vaccines, it's worth noting that whatever we created would need to be injected into the minion. Why? Well, in Panic in the Mailroom, a short film about the minions who work in Gru's mailroom, a minion swallows some of the PX41 and becomes a purple ravaging monster. However, the rampage comes to a halt when the minion spits out the PX41 and goes back to normal. So it's got to get into their system and stay in there somehow. Luckily, we know thanks to the home makeover short film that pins can penetrate minion bodies. So those little yellow dudes better be on the watch out for any stray needles headed their way. So there you have it, friends. How to kill off the unkillable, yellow-skinned, overall-clad monster. It's not about subjecting them to extreme hot or cold, cutting them off from air or food, or confronting them with guns and bombs. It's about taking the fight to their very cells to bring down their deadliest superpower of all, regenerating DNA. Which, come to think of it, in an ironic twist, the most despicable thing that Gru has ever done is withhold their genetic secret from the world. Scientists have been trying to crack the answer to immortality and telomerase for decades, and apparently it's been sitting in Gru's underground bunker for the better part of 60 years. And that, my friends, is the definitive way to kill a minion. I suppose you could also go the route of, making sure that their new movies flop, but considering that this is a franchise where 4 films have grossed a little over $3.7 billion at the worldwide box office, pretty sure Illumination Entertainment ain't gonna be killing off the franchise anytime soon. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Hello, 7-Eleven.
I need a pack of condoms, 2 bags of paper towels. Cindy.
How mad will you be? Time to do a film theory. How mad
mad will you be? We screwed up this bad movie. How bad can I be? Once there isn't really bad, you will see. Can I be? You're really not. Quite the contrary. How wrong could we possibly be? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that tells jokes that ooze with such ease. But those jokes are filled with such cheese that the joke police might one day raid my home and say, freeze! The keyboard they'll seize, the lawsuits they'll tease, and by now you're all shouting, stop, please! Today we're talking about a Dr. Seuss classic, The Lorax.
Okay, guys, I'm not gonna finish that one, but I mean, hold on, guys.
really suspicious quote from the fairy tale that seems to lock this in as our donkey. Quote, the young lordling once went out walking full of thought and came to a well. He looked into it and in the mirror clear water saw his donkey's form. He was so distressed about it that he went out into the wide world and only took with him one faithful companion. One faithful traveling companion. It's an especially weird detail for this fairy tale to include because that is all we ever hear about this other mysterious character. But using context clues, we can clearly identify this as someone who's a loner and is also comfortable traveling with a donkey. So that pretty much points to someone like Shrek, right? This is absolutely the origin story for our talking donkey, isn't it? It would be until you get to the big twist at the end of the story. You see, the donkey and his companion go to another kingdom and make friends with the king, who marries his daughter off to the donkey because, you know, the donkey is depressed. You know, times were different back then, okay? Anyway, just as the donkey and his bride are about to, you know, celebrate their marriage night, the donkey takes his skin off to reveal himself to be a real boy. King doesn't believe it, so the next night he sneaks into his daughter's room and watches the proceedings. There's a lot of reasons you weren't told this one at story time at night, or reasons why people don't choose to adapt Grimm's fairy tales accurately. Anyway, suffice it to say, the king is impressed by what he sees. All the old people in the story die, and the donkey gets himself a wife and 2 kingdoms. But you can start to see our problem as far as this theory is concerned, right? The donkey in the fairy tale isn't a real donkey. It's just a human disguised inside of a donkey's skin. But one glance at Donkey and Dragon's Offspring and Shrek the Third is all the proof we need that Shrek's donkey is 100% donkey and 0% human. Those are dronkies and dongans, no doubt about it. So with Grimm's donkey out of the picture, we're back at square one, which honestly kind of sucks because that would have been the best title and thumbnail ever, which means a return to the drawing board. So we know Donkey is a fairy tale character, otherwise he wouldn't be getting rounded up with all the others or worth any sort of reward. So is he one just made up for the purposes of these movies, or could there be another explanation for what's really going on here? Well, 2 years ago, in a now deleted Reddit post, a user named Jeremy V proposed a different possibility, that Donkey did indeed hail from a fairy tale. In fact, one that is far more popular than Grimm's The Donkey ever was. Could Donkey be one of the kidnapped boys from Pinocchio? Is it possible that Donkey started as a human child, was stolen off of the street and shipped off to Pleasure Island, where he, like so many others before him, would transform into a donkey and eventually be sold off into slavery? Now, admittedly, that's a pretty dark backstory for a main character in a PG-rated franchise about an ogre who farts a bunch, but it would help explain why, in a movie full of celebrity cameos from history's most iconic fairy tales, we would spend so much time with an otherwise out-of-place talking donkey. And the rationale here doesn't just boil down to throwing up our arms and saying, well, they're practically the only other fairy tale donkeys of note, so he must be one of them. The clues pointing towards a Shrek-Pinocchio crossover are...
Ogres are like onions. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
You get it! So let's start peeling them back. First, let's look at what few details we can actually learn about Donkey's backstory based on some of the things he says throughout the movies. He says this in Shrek the Third.
Already starting to feel nauseous from memories of wedges and swirlies.
As Puss in Boots points out moments later, donkeys don't wear clothes. So this would suggest that Donkey was a human at some point in his life, specifically when he was a child. How else would he have been given a wedge? Donkeys don't wear clothes, but human children absolutely do. Or at least they're supposed to. No screaming naked babies around here. Later on in that same movie, Donkey and Puss swap bodies and we get ourselves this short conversation.
But they were made in Madrid by the finest...
Oh, you'll learn to control that.
This seems to suggest that Donkey learned to talk as a donkey later in life. I mean, after all, who can remember what it's like learning to...
It starts with ooey gooey goodness.
Talk as a baby. If Donkey...
Oh, you'll learn to control that.
This seems to suggest that Donkey learned to talk as a donkey later in life. I mean, after all, who can remember what it's like learning to talk as a baby? If Donkey was a school-aged boy who got himself turned into a donkey on Pleasure Island, however, he would remember how hard it was to talk normally following his transformation, and how when it first happened, his normal patterns of speech started to get interrupted by uncontrollable donkey praise. And would you know it, that's not just me speculating here. It's exactly what we see happen in Pinocchio. Pinocchio. When we watch Lampwick transform on Pleasure Island, we see two key things. One, that he is indeed able to continue speaking like a human despite being fully transformed into a donkey. And two, his normal speech starts to get interrupted with donkey noises.
Hey, you laugh like a donkey. Did that come out of me?
In fact, based on these scenes, we know one additional detail here. Boys who are transformed into donkeys but still able to talk fluently are sent back to Pleasure Island for a little bit longer until they fully lose that ability.
And what might your name be?
Alexander.
So you can talk.
Yes, sir. I want to go home to my mama.
Take him back. He can still talk.
This scene also demonstrates another key feature of how the donkeys get treated on Pleasure Island. They're allowed to keep their clothes until they're ready to be sold off to the salt mines. Here, we see a child who's gone full donkey get stripped of his clothes by the coachman and sent to the crates, whereas Alexander, our boy from earlier, is allowed to stay dressed. Now, this is important because Donkey in Shrek clearly has memories of being both a donkey and wearing clothes.
You better run, you little punk, no goodness, because today's a little ducky draws.
This donkey still allowed to wear clothes detail not only opens up the possibility of him getting called Donkey Dumpy Drawers, we know that Pleasure Island is specifically full of bullies. The boys are all trapped there because they misbehaved. So another half-turned child making fun of Donkey for being scared and soiling his donkey drawers? Totally within the realm of possibility here. And lastly, it probably goes without saying, but it's definitely worth pointing out, it's clearly established that both Pinocchio and Shrek share the same universe. Heck, the first time we see Donkey, he's standing behind Pinocchio in line. Could this be DreamWorks' way of slyly suggesting that the two characters are linked? Maybe, maybe not. But if nothing else, it verifies that Shrek pulls from the Pinocchio lore. So it would make perfect sense for a Pleasure Island donkey to be walking around somewhere in this world. So the Pleasure Island theory gives us a source for donkeys who wear clothes, used to be human, and have learned to talk as donkeys. All of which line up with the few small details that donkeys let slip about his own past throughout these movies. But I just wish that there was something more, like one final clinching piece of evidence. Something that's a little less lore-based and a little bit more, I don't know, design-based, scientific. Brain blast! I got it! Look at their species. Donkey appears to be the exact same breed of donkey as the boys turned donkey in Pinocchio. Look at this! In Pinocchio, it seems like the Pleasure Island boys turn into one of two types of donkeys, either all brown or all gray. No color at the tips of the ears, a lighter color along their stomach, and a little tuft of either black or brown hair on their head and down into their neck. And now look at Donkey in Shrek. Same design. Gray, tall ears with no color at the tips, a lighter color of gray along his stomach, and a little tuft of black hair on his head. Neck. This seems really important to point out because there are over 140 different donkey breeds. And these breeds all have very different hair lengths, very different hair colors, and very distinct markings. So the fact that Donkey is matching up to the exact type that we see coming out of Pleasure Island feels like the smoking gun that we were missing before. So at this point, I have little choice but to stamp this theory as Matt Pat certified fresh. Really, considering all this evidence, how could Donkey not be a now grown boy from Pleasure Island? The theory has an answer for pretty much everything we know about the character. We've established 1, that it make him one of the very few famous fairy tale donkeys. 2, that he was once human. 3, wore clothes as a donkey. 4, learned to control his brain but can still talk in English. 5, was bullied in donkey form. 6, comes from a lore that also exists in Shrek. And 7, just so happens to be the exact species of donkey coming out of Pleasure Island. There is simply no other fairy tale or nursery rhyme out there that covers the spread the way the Pleasure Island theory does. Not even close. But if this is true, which it certainly seems to be, it opens up one very dark reality about Donkey, his personality, and what he wants to keep hidden about his past. Shortly after that Shrek the Third clip I played earlier, we get ourselves these lines where it seems like Donkey admits to his tragic origin story.
When you are clearly not aware of the underpants. Let's just say some things are better left unsaid and leave it at that.
What first appears to be a joke about donkeys wearing underwear, according to this theory, actually becomes Donkey not wanting to address the horrific way he became a donkey in the first place. Some things are better left unsaid. He doesn't want to talk about his trauma, which is totally fine until you consider the timeline of events. Pinocchio's story begins with him as a lifeless toy. Let's call this stage 1. He then becomes a living toy, which we'll call stage 2. Stage 3 is when he becomes a partial donkey living toy for a while, before finally entering stage 4 at the end of the movie when he's turned into a fully grown human boy. Now, throughout the Shrek movies, Pinocchio appears exclusively in his stage 2 living toy form, meaning the events depicted in Shrek occur after Pinocchio comes to life, but before he's sent off to Pleasure Island and becomes a weird partial donkey creature. So in the Shrek films, Pinocchio has no idea that Pleasure Island even exists, but Donkey does. He's already been there. In fact, we know that he managed to escape, like we see in that Alexander clip.
And what might your name be?
Alexander.
So you can talk. Take him back. He can still talk.
We know Donkey has turned, but hasn't gone full donkey yet, like all the other kids that are being shipped off to the salt mines, meaning that he managed to escape before that happened. The long and short of what I'm saying here is that Donkey knows full well that the evil Pleasure Island scheme of kidnapping boys and selling them as donkeys into the salt mines is in full swing, even as the events of Shrek are taking place. The criminals running the Pleasure Island scheme are very careful not to ship off any boys turned donkeys off the island until they can no longer talk, because donkeys who can talk could feasibly tell people on the mainland about their criminal enterprise and shut the whole thing down. But here we have ourselves Donkey, the lone fairy tale creature who could end all the suffering of so many boys. But does Donkey step up to the challenge of being a hero? Does he tell anyone about the ongoing horrors of Pleasure Island? Does he do anything to stop these atrocities?
Let's just say some things are better left unsaid and leave it at that.
He does not. Instead, he just follows Shrek around for a few movies, living it up, banging dragons.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
He was turned into a donkey because presumably he was a bad kid. It seems like he hasn't improved with age. Orphaned boys are getting kidnapped and sold off by the boatload, and Donkey is letting it happen. Does this make Donkey a complete ass? I don't know, but in the end, there's definitely blood on Donkey's hands. Or, I suppose, hooves. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And if you want to see more Shrek, I suggest you watch our other video on Shrek's deadly farts. There is an actual scientific explanation for why his farts are so dangerous. We go into that on the video to the left. Or you know what? Do me a favor and check out that channel I mentioned earlier, Shay Frillis Productions. His analyses of classic animated movies coming from Disney and Pixar. He's incredibly insightful in his observations, and it's just funny to boot.
It's not the best, but it's my favorite, which is a pretty impressive feat considering how generic the story is.
I first discovered him through his videos on Shrek, and I've been watching him ever since.
But I don't think anyone ever takes a look at it and says, oh yeah, now that's one of the greatest sequels in cinematic history. Why am I Luigi?
He's doing great work out there. He's only got 500,000 subscribers. Go out, show him some love, give him some of that valuable watch time that YouTube cherishes so much, and tell him MadPat sent you. And Shay Frillis, if at some point you want to do something together, let me know. I would love to talk to you about that. You're doing great work out there, man. Hopefully this gets you a bit more attention. So anyway, that's it for today. I need to start working on some scary theories for October. I'll see you then.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna actually end this now. I'm sorry that I said I'd end it earlier and didn't do it earlier. I just wanted to see if I could get past the 2-hour mark, and I have got past the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna go now, and I will see you guys next time. So, yeah, I'm gonna end this for the night, so see you guys next time. I don't know when I'm gonna do my next one, but I won't let you know, but you guys will be able to, find out when I do it, because I'll schedule it, but I don't know when I'll do the next one, so yeah. Anyways, have a good night, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this stream, and yeah, see ya.